Hey, you want to stay safe on the internet, right? Luckily for you, and fortunately for us, we have a fantastic sponsor of today's video that is supporting the Open Classic in Age of Empires 2 that can provide you exactly what you need. Surfshark provides a VPN, or a virtual private network, that will allow you to connect to the internet in a secure and confidential way. You can view it as a shield for your online information, where everything behind it is not easily visible or accessible to those who run into it. To give you an example of how this works, imagine you're living in the United Kingdom and you connect to a server in the United States. The VPN will send all your information with a different IP address, masking your real one, and suddenly every website you visit will see you as a visitor from the United States, which will keep your identity and location protected. And right now they're offering the amazing Age of Empires 2 community an incredible deal where you can get 83% off and 3 months for free by using the code TOC, which obviously stands for the Open Classic. And the best part is that with just a single subscription, you can connect it to unlimited amount of devices. Besides staying safe online, you can use the VPN to bypass censorship, unlock different libraries, for example for Netflix in different countries and areas, and you can even find better prices online. There are a lot of features that I haven't even mentioned yet, and you can discover those by checking out the description of the video and taking advantage of the incredible deal that is 83% off and 3 months for free with the code TOC. I would like to thank Surfshark for supporting Age of Empires 2 and the Open Classic. And now, we move on to the video. Alright, a quick little promo there. For the grand final. And we have given the green light. Oh yeah, so Yo obviously picked Arena because it was the only remaining map. So it wasn't his, he didn't try to pick the, I'm sorry for the volume, it might have been a bit loud. I tried to adjust it a little bit, but grand final will be coming in. We will be joining T90. So let's have a look at the draft.
Hello,
here.
hello.
Hello, hello.
What's up, man?
What's up, man?
I have a question I want to ask you, and I'm like typical caster. I want to talk about it right away. I'm gonna save it. I'm just gonna start our conversation with that.
Does it have anything to do with Flemish Revolution?
No, it doesn't. But I'm sure you have opinions on that.
Might have.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about that to start this off?
No. Go on with your question. It's all good.
Okay. Well, I'll save it till it's relevant. But what did you think of the maps for this final?
That was a boring question, man. I was getting hyped, and then, what do you think of the maps?
What do you think casters do? This is our job, Viper. Come on, man.
What do you think of the maps? I mean, there's a limit. They have to ban one map each, and then the rest of the maps will be played. There's not too much to discuss here.
Are you saying the settings for your tournament are boring and not worth discussing?
No, I'm just saying that to open the question with what do you think of the maps makes no sense. There's not much to think right now. I think the maps are nice.
All right, that's cool. All right, well, what do you think of the Civs, Viper?
Okay, Civs, that's more interesting. So, I'm surprised to see Maggers as like first pick from Yo. I guess he really prioritizes that for Land Madness.
Yeah.
Liereyy knows that Yo likes Mesocivs, so he instantly snags Aztecs and Mayans, which is cool. Lithuanians, Vikings, Burgundians prioritized highly. I think people are getting more and more open to the idea of Flemish Revolution. Chinese being picked that late is very surprising to me. And
just in general, right?
Yeah.
The fact that Yo is drafted Spanish so high, and then Chinese was that late is weird in comparison.
Spanish isn't weird though. They have a very good success rate on Nomad these days. So
yep.
I think Spanish is. I mean, me and Yo, he went Koreans there. Spanish won, and then today Yo picked Spanish as his first pick against Taro as well. So he definitely wants that because it's probably the map he feels the most comfortable with when it comes to a Nomad. But either way, we have a game in our hands.
Cool. Yeah, we'll be in, or I'll be in a second, but I'll let you start it all off. Do you have any predictions for the series here after seeing everything and even playing against some of these players?
I think both players are looking very solid. Yo, as always, great decision making throughout, and Liereyy just doing Liereyy things, kind of reacting, adapting, playing the clean micro macro game, and just winning games, which he does. So I think it's a bit of a stylistic clash in some ways, but at the same time, it's a very interesting stylistic clash.
Okay.
And,
Yeah, I looked at their history, and over 4 years of tournaments, coming up on 5 now, it is 8-4 for Liereyy, but a lot of those are ended in one game. So this should be a really epic final.
Yeah, indeed. Usually goes to like 3-2 and things like that. But I'm not sure if you're in the game yet.
Yeah, we're good. I'm live.
Okay,
Yep.
cool. Civilizations, Liereyy in the green color, playing as the Mayans here for Arabia. Not really a surprising pick there. I'm not sure. It will be interesting to see where he uses Aztecs then going forward. And Yo playing Britons, surprisingly enough as well. Not a typical pick here, but maybe it was meant as a bit of a counter pick to Aztecs. But against Mayans, I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I guess if you're able to get some walls down and make it an archer battle in the mid, it's not too bad for Britons, but I know you had some experiences with it as well. These maps have been very pure Arabia, open, as people want when they play Arabia, and I think that could be relatively tough for Yo, but it is also open on the other side as well, so control is going to be key.
Yeah, if you look at the front of Lierey's base, he has very easy to wall his front side, you can say. And he could actually just connect all the woodlines all the way to the edge of the map, because he has a really nice back gold. And wouldn't be surprised to see Liereyy even trying for a Drushfast Castle. We know he loves to do it. And with a gold in the back like that, I think he will be very tempted. Yo as well, though. Nice back gold. Woodlines kind of close and safe. So, and Yo is going for a pre-milled rush. And Liereyy is not. So it will be interesting.
Okay. Yeah, Liereyy also moving out across the map, but he moved out across. Oh, sorry, he moved out across at the start, and now is going back out to scout. So it's not as if he's close to seeing that. Did you have any huge say in the map scripts for this? I know there's so many maps and a lot to do in the lead up to a tournament. I'm just curious if you gave input for this Arabia, because you played on so many.
Actually, I tried to make him minimize the woodlines a little bit even more, because right now we have 4 woodlands, I think, is the guaranteed around each player. And I was suggesting maybe making it 3, but I don't remember exactly what the argument was, but it was a reasonable argument to keep it 4. But I think he made the woodlands smaller, so it contributes a bit to the map being a little bit more open. They didn't want it to be the typical guaranteed Drushfast Castle fiesta we kind of can have on Arabia.
Okay.
Yeah, obviously I gave feedback, especially Nomad is the one where we tried to make it a little bit more less RNG based, and I think we did a good job there. But yeah, obviously had a little bit of a say, but huge credits to Krajini for making the maps the way they are. It took some of your stuff from Hidden Cup with, for example, trying to make the boar spawn in the back of the base to reduce the risk of laming and certain things like that.
Yeah, I think the Nomad was a concern for me, as we see the scout here for Yo. I'm not sure if that's worth it. Nomad was a concern for me, and Nomad's been really good. And I actually have enjoyed this Arabia version, and the reason I brought that up was not so much the number of woodlines, but how forward they tend to be. Very rarely can someone get by with full wall, safe back woodlines. So if you want to go fast castle, as Yo's going in, it's going to be brutal. And speaking of, Liereyy with less than ideal start here.
Yeah, great start for Yo. Also saving his scout in the end there, so that scout should just get out of dodge. And there will now have to wall in his woodlines, and Yo has to be a bit careful. He might even get a villager here as Yo. Is he going to commit? Ooh, he should not probably. We'll lose the militia. Ooh. Bit of a misjudgment.
Do you send one Vil there? Because that's a one-hitter. Do you send one militia, excuse me, and there goes the scout?
Yeah.
Instead of 2, or...
Yeah, if you want to commit on the villager kill, there's no need to send more than 1.
Yeah.
Because you just need 1 hit anyway, right? So I think in the end, the opening seemed a bit rough for Yo, for Liereyy, but he got out of that okay, and the militia don't have too much HP left, and of course it's still awkward, but both players ended up with a drush. Liereyy seems to be following up with a fast feudalage, while Yo might still be thinking about the fast castle behind this.
Okay, so Liereyy made 1 militia, lost it, and kind of canceled that idea in his mind and said, forget about it, it's not worth it, which I think is good Oh, excuse me. I think I got it wrong. He made more than one. But I think it was a good idea to stop making them, and he's going to open up with archers here, I guess.
Yeah, which is potentially not going to work, because if you look at the minimap here for Yo, he has already made himself an arena. And
yeah,
it takes some time to get through walls with just archers at this point, so Yo definitely looks like he wants to go for the Drush Fast Castle follow-up, and Liereyy obviously now committing on the faster feudalage, meaning he has to make something happen earlier on, and yeah. He has 2 militia alive though, so he could still upgrade them, even making a third one. So this will still be Man-at-Arms follow-up from Liereyy.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea to go Drush FC, because your best game mode, or game modes, excuse me, not your best game mode, but your best game window for you, your timing is going to be early castle, and that's what Yo's trying to get to right now. As you see Yo even trying to take out the deer, and Liereyy not happy about that, but I mean that does add up a little bit of decay as Yo is just sitting pretty behind his walls.
Yeah, Liereyy now going to discover that he is up against full walls and that archery range has to come up instantly. It does. And it still feels though like usually this happens with like the normal like 21, 22 pop-up. Not after a drush, kind of, because Liereyy also opened sort of a drush. So the archery range is even late, which means that the pressure will come even later, meaning that Yo, in theory, should be completely fine here to go through with the Drush Fast Castle. But actually, Yo is not doing it. He has committed 13 villagers on wood, meaning it's very likely that he will actually play feudalage himself.
So I know there's a lot of conversations about walls in our community, and rightly so. But Yo has placed 67 palisades, and then houses, and then villager time. I mean, that is really tough, even with 28 villagers, to be able to afford this. And I feel like he's kind of in that in-between situation you never want to be at, where he's arrived late to feudal, so he hasn't had anything really to pressure with, and he still can't go castle age.
Yeah, but at this point I think he's just content with the situation. He will just drop double range in the blacksmith, get the eco upgrades, and play at feudal age, which with Britons as well, it's not... Wait, he's actually going one range blacksmith. He's not doing eco upgrades. Is he trying to... No, he's doing it now. Okay. Yeah, I was a bit confused there. But yeah, he will just be content playing like this. He will... Once he gets a few archers out on the field, he will be completely fine against this. And then I don't necessarily think he will be later to cast Age than Liereyy. But you never know. And it's going to be translating into a very equal mid-game here.
Yep. Losing on the berries will hurt. But this is something that Yo seems to expect. So he'll see that fletching is in, so he has to be a little careful. He should get his own fletching upgrade as he places the palisade. Good pressure from Liereyy. It kind of looked like he could have fallen further behind when the drush was coming in, but he never lost that villager. And he's able to take all of his deer in the end, and he was faster to archers, so he's in a good spot.
Yeah, indeed, the pressure is also in, but he has to be careful now because Yo is also Briton, so he has that faster archery production and doing a second range as well, while Liereyy is currently staying one range. So suddenly the numbers might be in favor of Yo very quickly. And then Liereyy has to be careful with how aggressive he is, because if Yo catches his army off guard, then that could snowball out of control. But Liereyy playing it cautiously, moving out of dodge, and now gonna try to find another angle to do damage.
Can you talk a little bit for the viewers about the timing on the walls? Like, for example, Yo's fully walled right now, but he's now on the back foot. What do you think about Liereyy delaying his walls right now?
I think the way Liereyy is walling, first of all, is interesting. Is like it seems a lot of very choppy. Like there's one palisade here, one palisade there. But either way, Liereyy doing it the nice thing, just like because Liereyy knows he has the full pressure. He knows he doesn't have to worry about being attacked at the moment. So just making the wall slow and safe is a very economic approach as well, rather than rushing the walls. Like Yo, in this case, the walls obviously bought him time to get to feudal age and be safe. But now Liereyy is through anyway, so it's not like he completely avoided damage by simply being walled.
Also, it's the timing of when you wall. If you're going to pull 4 villagers to wall when you have 25, that's going to hurt a lot more than you pull villagers at 35. So as Yo is likely going to defend here, you never know with Liereyy micro. It's pretty close. Geez, that is the strongest man-at-arm ever. But yeah, we'll see the dancing. But I think, both players are going to be pretty much in the same spot making archers, but one player is going to be faster to castle age, and that's Liereyy.
Yeah, good micro from both players. They're trading roughly equal, and yeah, now behind this Liereyy will be faster, but Yo will have the numbers, and as the game goes on, because Liereyy still doesn't have a second range. Yeah, the timing though. I mean, all Yo needs to do is survive and not take damage until he is Castle Age, and then he has to take advantage with the extra range. And Yo's food eco is looking fairly solid. He won't be clicking up too much later, and he might have a time window now where he can put a little bit of pressure on Liereyy. But yeah, Liereyy, we know how deadly he can be with that early Castle Age time. We saw it against Jordan, for example, as well, where just 2 minutes into Castle Age, GG. And I don't expect that to happen here, but you never know with Liereyy.
He's actually making skirms. He's going to go skirm defense. So he, instead of trying to use the cheap mine archers against the extra range from Britons, he pretty much full expects he'll be outpowered. What do you think about that lumber camp? I mean, I guess it's the only wood he saw, but do you see that lumber camp from Liereyy in the north?
Yeah.
It's like 10 trees or something.
Liereyy also always catching the archers of Yo, and Yo is just move commanding, taking big hits. Liereyy doesn't have armor, so Yo could in theory have taken decent trade if he was paying attention, but yeah, Liereyy getting 2 picks offs for free, 3 even, and still gonna chase those archers down. And Liereyy probably will go very economic focused here, just get those town centers up, get the eco rolling, and then play the game from there. He's also added 2 eagles in his barracks, so maybe we see an eagle skirmisher play here. Yeah, I'm not sure, but I feel like this is still fine position for Yo. I would not mind this at all.
Yeah, the thing is, normally TC timing is huge, but you can always catch up quite easily with Britons because your town centers are so cheap. So yeah, I'm with you. I think it's a close game. Liereyy, I mean, his walls are fairly secure. He'll probably add some eco, but is there anything that Lierey's not doing with his faster Castle Age that, well, granted, he's about to hit, so we'll see. But is there anything that he is to keep in mind here, I guess, as he knows that Yo's going to push back soon?
Well, he needs to decide where do you invest your resources now? Do you do elite skirmishers? Do you go town centers? And what exactly... Because skirmisher is not an offensive unit. You don't kill a lot with skirmishers. But yeah, he's going for elite skirmishers, he's going for armor upgrade before town centers. So he's just trying to apply pressure here with the skirms and a couple of eagles to hit the walls. But Yo is about to hit the Castle Age in less than a minute, and he's going to have extra range on the archers. Once their crossbows as well, he's going to outrange everything Liereyy has. And he has a stable and adding a... What? He's adding a barracks. Okay, Yo is being...
Viper.
Yo is being mind game hard here. He thinks Liereyy is going eagles, and that's gonna... That's not a great thing for Yo. Okay, deletes the barracks. Okay, good call, I think.
He's so good. It's like he has too much time before he's in Castle Age and he wants to do stuff. He doesn't know what to do right now. Yeah, I think he still completed supplies, but good he canceled that. That would be a real awkward spot to show up with longswords when the enemy only has a few eagles.
So I think Yo is actually in a better position right now because he also did horse collar as soon as he got to feudal age, so his farming eco will be slightly more lasting longer, and he will have the range on the crossbows and he has the armor on the knights, so he will get some knights into the mix as well. And I do prefer the Britain's composition then. Liereyy is doing ballistics though and getting bosa, so he's still in a good position, but Yo as well immediately 2 TCs, knight production is there, he has the crossbow range. Okay, knight production is not there, but it should have been there.
Yeah, he's kind of in a spot where he's going to decide on a bunch of things. Yes, the TCs are cheap, but he doesn't have a university to get ballistics for his crossbows. And he does not have the food eco set up to make a lot of knights with his crossbows. So I actually don't like the... I feel like he's not really easing into the Castle Age as well as he might want to. But he doesn't necessarily need to go offensive here. He's got a stone in the back. He's got a gold in the back. So as long as he keeps his crossbows at a mass, I think he's going to be somewhat satisfied with things.
Yeah, they were getting some solid hits now with the ballistics upgrade. He's doing +2 armor as well, and wheelbarrow, and finally adding a second TC himself. Yo was out on the map with a scout looking around, so he wanted to find out if Liereyy is following this up with a forward, which he is not. And Liereyy keeps making eagles, so I guess elite or eagle warrior will be on the cards as well. And Yo not taking great trades there. Sure, the knights will get some hits, but the crossbow numbers going down this heavily is only good for Liereyy.
Yep. He's trying to get the eagles out of the picture, doing an okay job. But then again, in the end, it looks like Yo will be pushing out, and I guess it's okay to toss away a couple crossbows here or there if your ranges produce this fast, and he'll get more out there. And I'm noticing those golds. We haven't talked about that. Those golds are so important in the middle. So it's good for Yo that he's controlling that.
Yeah, if you compare goals, Liereyy has both the extra golds safe behind his walls, so pretty good map for Liereyy there. And again, I think Liereyy was way too confident in that fight. Sure, he picked off some skirms, but as long as the eagles are just eagle scouts, they're not that scary for the knights. And even the crossbows do a lot of damage to those eagles when they have so few upgrades. And Yo just suddenly has full map control, he has the better army composition, and he has the equal lead. So Yo is looking in a fantastic spot.
Do you follow this up with Siege? You see the range and the barracks are on the front. You know that he's mainly just going to sit behind his walls with skirms. To me, I feel like Siege follow-up is perfect here.
Yeah, it would make a lot of sense. And there we go, Siege Shop being dropped as we speak. Because Liereyy as well, obviously Yo doesn't know, but Liereyy, his map is a bit awkward with the wood. He's got 13 villages on the lumber camp on the top, and then finally dropping a TC there on the gold. Or he changed his mind. Okay, drops it again. Yeah, wood income for Liereyy is a bit awkward with the left TC being quite exposed. That's probably going to be the target of Yo for now. And for sure, as long as Liereyy doesn't upgrade those eagles into eagle warriors, Yo has a lot of potential to keep pushing here and doing damage.
Stone as well, right? Sometimes you need a castle for plumed archers or just to bail yourself out of a position. But Yo is camping the one stone with his crossbows. The other stone is part of his wall on the right side. So, again, I just need to salute Krazini out there because while there were good things about Lierey's map, namely the golds, there are also bad things about Lierey's map. So it's a really good map script overall with pros and cons for both players.
Speaking of stone, if we look at Yo's stone count, I predict a castle to come up on Lierey's face at some point, especially behind this pressure. This is something Yo loves to do. He loves to apply that little bit of pressure and then bam, slaps a castle in your face, and you just, while you have been building up army to potentially deal with the pressure, suddenly there's a castle there and you're like, you're unable to engage ever, and then it's just such an awkward spot. Yo will lose a villager here though on the front, but the Mangala is now out and Lierey's gonna see it. And yeah, Lierey's gonna have a tough challenge ahead of him, but he's getting those upgrades on the eagles, so massing those eagles could be key for him. But I still feel like Yo just has enough knights, has enough crossbows, and there's the castle in the face.
You know what I love about the timing on Yo's castles as well, and you've experienced this. He does it in 50-50 army situations where the fight would be close, where maybe if they were to fight you, they would like clear out most of Yo's army. But they have to choose between stopping the castle and taking the vills, and thus losing the fight, or not losing the fight, but letting the castle go up. Like right now, it looks like Liereyy could maybe consider taking an engagement. You have the monks out, you have the eagles out, but can he do it, Viper?
Great house by Yo as well here, making the eagles unable and getting big Magna shot as well. He makes the eagles unable to fight, and still it's not eagle warriors, it's eagle scouts. They can never engage this, and the castle will go up, and Liereyy can't do anything about it. And
wow,
Yo,
this is crazy.
Yeah, like Liereyy now is gonna feel so much pressure. He's like, Yo could easily behind this just stop production, put some more vills on gold, and even go to Imperial Age. Liereyy has to make so many units now to just try his best to survive and not die to this pressure. Yo missing ballistics now. Ballistics would have been crucial for him to keep dealing damage here, but still, that castle is just such a dominant, strong castle.
Yo is just so fun to watch strategically, and Lierey's really... Oh, as he gets 3 knights. Oh, if he could only pull those back and save them, that'd be helpful. But Lierey's really in need of some type of a counter, but at the same time, he constantly needs to defend himself. This is rough.
The issue for Lierey's situation right now, I feel like if I was playing, I would think that I have a better economy. Because I look at the score and I'm like, well, he has a massive army and he's just 100 points ahead. Yeah, I probably have a better eco, right? But he's actually 10 vills behind as well. There's just...
Crazy.
Yo is just ahead in every single way, and... Liereyy now going for a counterattack, but everything is going to run into his walls unless Yo overchops on the bottom side. And Yo should have the time to react and respond exactly what he wants to.
Yep, Yo is just seen it all, man. He's experienced it all. We'll see it. We'll probably see a palisade attacked here by the Eagles, and it would be insane for Yo to be able to react to this, but it's kind of expected of him. And yep, he sees it, and he'll plop down some houses. I think he's going to be okay, and...
Oh, no overchop. He has overchop
yet.
Oh, but he responds. Oh! Perfect timing.
Nice.
Oh, wait.
What?
Eagles came in.
I didn't see that. And then at the same time, Liereyy is losing villagers underneath his town center, Viper. So
he's losing 2 town centers. He's losing 2 TCs as well.
2 eagles in for losing 2 town centers. I don't know if that's worth it for Liereyy.
Yeah, and besides this as well, Yo is making the switch to long swords. And the Eagles got in though. So
no way.
Eagles broke in the end. Yo finishing the wall, so the Eagles will not get in. But he's still losing some villagers. But still, Yo is 20 villagers ahead now. And
yeah.
Yeah, Liereyy might be thinking about Imperial Age with the situation, but there's no defense now for the farming economy of Liereyy. Look at that. 30 villagers running away from the farms. That's your whole food economy right there. Look at the castle.
And Yo's gonna drop the castle where the TC was. But what would Ornlu say? The ultimate get out of my game castle. I would love for him to build a TC there and steal the farms personally, but I think that'll definitely seal the deal as the Eagles are trapped in here now. Yo's gonna have the answer to them pretty soon. Knights and longswords will probably be on the way.
Yeah, it's already a couple of men-at-arms out there and some knights, and Eagles are also a little bit hurt from the town center fire, and town center is now with ballistics as well. Yo will clean that up easily. The second castle is just asserting his dominance, and Liereyy just awkwardly transitioning all over the map now, trying to find any resource that he can cling on to and collect for a while, but I'm sure that Yo is looking to finish this game as soon as possible.
Yeah, maybe one of those where it's the first game of a series and Liereyy just wants to play on a little longer here, but I think it's probably dawning on him that there's just no way back for him. If he continues to play, I think he's only going to lose more space, and even if he doesn't lose more space, as he tries to engage here next to this new castle. Oh, Big Mag and L-shot maybe. Nope, never mind. Sorry, it's not going to work out for Liereyy. And, yep, the GG is called. What a game! That was a really fun way to start this all off.
Indeed, and it kind of was a back and forth to Drush from Yo. Yo had initiative, Liereyy dealt with that, and Liereyy went aggressive and had initiative. And then Liereyy had the faster castle edge time, had initiative. Then Yo took back the initiative with that one crucial fight. And after that big fight where Liereyy lost all his skirmishers, Yo never let the initiative go. And those castles following up as well was just perfect play and very, very well done by Mr.Yo here.
What was it that went wrong for Liereyy? Because remember, he defended from the Drush decently. He had the faster castle age. He was the one pressuring Yo. And then somehow it turned into 2 castles at his base. Was it the early engagements? Did he overextend possibly?
Yeah, it was definitely... I mean, he traded some archers initially, right? But that was a fine trade because he was switching into skirms anyway. I think Liereyy was just a bit too greedy. He wanted to go for skirms into eagles, but those eagles never got upgrades. So as soon as Yo gets to castle age, has the crossbow numbers, and just mix in a few knights, that fight will never end well for Liereyy. So he probably overstayed his welcome forward as well. If he just fell back after like poking a little bit, and I thought as well that I didn't think he would do elite skirm right away. I thought he would drop 2 TCs and then maybe do elite skirm as Liereyy hits the castle age. So I feel like he rushed those upgrades a little bit at cost of his economy, and then the upgrades didn't really give him anything anyway. So, but still, obviously, Yo just made all the right decisions, and that's usually how you win games.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Strategy game, making the right decisions. Woo. We're bringing the good stuff here, man.
Of course.
Okay, so I think stylistically before the finals, if we would have discussed the pros and cons for either player, or I guess their strengths and weaknesses, we would have probably said that Liereyy is the favorite going into any Arabia style map. Would you agree with that?
I think Arabia at, let's say, top 5, top 6 level is very much 50-50 at this point.
Okay.
Sure, some players like Hera, Liereyy will have the little edge in maybe like pure micro games, but the civilizations within drafts are so important as well, and it's not as straightforward as saying that he's better than him anymore. It's a lot about the civs and how they approach the matchup as well. But yeah, I do understand the concept of saying that Liereyy and Hera, Hera in particular, probably will be favored on Arabia for the most part, because it very much suits their styles of play as well.
Yeah, okay. Well, the lands maps that were available that were not banned out and that did not include walls are all picked by Liereyy. And the next game is going to be Atacama, I've heard. So Atacama, Lands Madness, and Gold Rush as options. Talk to me about Atacama. This is the water version. I believe it's the same exact version that people might have seen in the German championships, the US championships, and maybe others. Which civilizations have you seen as dominant on this version?
So the first of all, Atacama it's mostly inspired by the way they made it during Red Bull 2, I think, where the water in the corners just add another aspect of challenge to the players in terms of decision making strategy and so forth. And I personally think the more options there are in ways to play the game, I think is more exciting and more fun, because you can see so many different approaches. And Atacama is already such a specific map with the wood in the center that if you add those pawns to the side, those pawns require wood to have benefits. So it
Yep.
just adds another level of difficulty. And Lithuanians come to mind. You can go to the wood right away, get those fishing ships out ASAP. You have civs like Japanese. I would say Malay in the past, but no longer anymore because of the fish traps not being infinite. But yeah, usually the hybrid civs, so Persians, and we also see civs like Magyars and Bulgarians because of the early initiative they could have. But I think Lithuanians, Japanese, these are probably the two go-to civs, and those are the civs we're gonna see.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, I think they'll be hopping in here. Yeah, I actually did some training games with Jordan before I played in a tournament with this map. Don't
Mhm.
ask me how the results went for me when we did the games, please.
Don't have to.
Yep, exactly. And so, anyways, we also discussed the civs, and I did my own testing, and Jordan gave me his notes, and basically, we felt like Lithuanians were the civ if you get that start down.
Mhm.
And I said all of this before Liereyy played Japanese against Doubt yesterday,
Mhm.
and Liereyy dominated with Japanese. So I don't think there can be any question over Japanese versus Lithuanian. So it should be pretty close.
I only played this game once, and that was against Taro, where he was Lithuanian, I was Japanese. I won that game as well, but I don't think that and the game yesterday means the Japanese are better. But Lithuanians usually should have a better early game, and when Doubt plays like he played, obviously Japanese will look better. Just gonna put that out there. But
Thank you. See, I can't say it like that because I'm not as close to him, but that was just bad, man. That was just not good.
hey, you just said it.
Well, I didn't say it like you said it, though.
Oh,
You
okay,
said it
okay.
more with a more rude tone.
Okay,
I
okay.
said it, yeah.
Okay. No, but yeah, like the way the outplay was just super confusing. I think he as well, if he rewatches those games, he's gonna be like, "What was he thinking?" You know.
Right?
That's usually
Yeah.
how it is. No, but yeah, I think Lithuanians should be the best. Japanese, right after them, but it's still a very close game. Both civs are great fish, and it always depends on the opening. That's at the com as well. That's why also civs like Magyars are good options there because the early initiative and the power spike of that plus extra attack on scouts, for example, is massive. And we can see Yo already getting his dock up. And Liereyy, though, kind of preparing for his own dock, so not too far behind.
Yeah, so in the testing I did, now granted, I am not as good as you or any of these players, surprise, surprise, but I actually felt like the strategy where you build the dock before lumber camp ended up giving me better economy and solid feudalage times. Now, I think the approach of just going to wood earlier is much safer and probably what most of you guys are going to prefer, right? Because you're less about power spikes and more about overall efficiency. But I have been rather surprised that players haven't been doing that. If you think there's 500 wood with the stragglers, if you get 5, I think occasionally there's 6. You can get a couple fishing ships out before the opponent even has a dock. So not the approach for Yo. Still will have a lead. I also find it interesting that on this Atacama generation,
Mhm.
they both are on a little nugget of wood, which means they might need to relocate close to each other, that middle section, sooner than most games.
Yeah, most spawns I've seen as well have been like, you don't spawn on the opposite side of each other, you kind of spawn more like in, like, how to say? Like to the east and then to the northwest, kind of. So like super close to each other.
Yeah.
Right now,
Yeah.
it's like pretty much the longest distance you could have between the two players, and that probably makes it slightly less aggressive. But yeah, I mean they have plenty of wood still, but both of them will have to transition to a bigger wood eventually, as you're saying. But to speak on your whole lumber camp before dock kind of thing, it is definitely safer. And I think unless you see like a player like Max doing the dock before lumber camp, then it's not good. Because
Yeah.
he's a guy who will have tested it thoroughly, and like if he has figured out that I get a better economy with that, then he will do it.
Yeah.
If he doesn't do it, then it probably isn't the case. And yeah, sure, you might get like a slightly faster fuelage time with better food, but still, I think you want the more stable wood income to have an easier transition into fuelage.
Aha! I just baited you into confirming that you should make a lumber camp before chopping your straggler trees, regardless of the civ. That's all I wanted.
That's not true, though.
Okay, all right, fine. I wasn't actually baiting you, but dude, the one time I spent like 4 weeks the first time Loey the Legends came out, hammering home that people shouldn't chop their straggler trees a lot as Yo sends a villager forward. And then I watched you play some tournament game, and you just chopped them all right away with some funky build. I wasn't happy with you. I have forgiven you at this point, but it still brings back painful memories.
Oh, how can I live without your forgiveness? Oh.
Oh, I know.
No,
This
but
is unorthodox though that Yo is sending this Vil
mm,
forward. I don't think I've seen that yet on this this map version.
oh, if I recall correctly, I've seen it 2 times already this tournament, 2 or 3 times. I think Yo did it as well in one game. So it is
Did you
definitely
see that?
huh? The TC.
Yo's scout just
Yeah.
walked directly underneath Lierey's TC, and Liereyy didn't even react.
Well, you know, these kids don't have the APM of the guys like Doubt, so can't expect to see everything. But yeah, I mean, Yo has just improved the timing of this. Like right now, he's arriving, he's gonna build a dock, and that's gonna be perfect timing.
Yeah.
When I've seen it being done previously, the timing has not been as on point right as now. Previously, it's usually been, oh, Yo could trap Lierey's scout, by the way, and he's doing it. Gate, house, and palisade. Yo scout is trapped. Lierey's scout is trapped.
No way, Liereyy. You can't let this happen. And now, oh, it's double trouble. And that scout will probably die to Yo's scout because Yo will be in feudal age faster. Yo is on point here, man. And he's been, just like you, watching all the games today for his audience on his stream. So, sick stuff.
Yo is just building up so he can delete the palisade gate and go and kill the scout with his scout and the villager supporting. I'm not sure why he's not pulling the villager as well. Okay, it doesn't matter. And yeah, Liereyy will have no scouting intel. He will not know that the dock of Yo is there before the fire galley hits his first fishing ship. And then it's kind of too late to respond. And Liereyy is not even on stone. Liereyy is going for the stable, just like he did against Doubt. So probably Yo saw the games Liereyy played against Doubt yesterday and is playing exactly to counter that specific style. And Yo right now looks, again, to be in a fantastic position.
He's just now adding a barracks, which is a little awkward, but you're never going to be able to have the barracks and the stable and the dock. Do you jump out here with 1 fire galley or 2? Because it is Japanese fish.
You go right away. You just want to force the issue right away. And like, because even if Liereyy adds a fire galley himself, by the time he has 1 fire galley, you have 2. So it doesn't really matter for you. And Yo has already confirmed that there's stable opening for Liereyy. And when you're going scouts as well, losing your starting scout is just so painful. And again, the late barracks for Yo doesn't matter because I feel like Yo, again, playing kind of blind, heavy counter to exactly what Liereyy wants to do on this map. And so far, it's working out perfectly for him.
Yeah, it's so cool to see that because some players... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, just that Yo... I think he spotted the dock from Liereyy on the top side. Yes, he sees the dock. He's sending a villager right away. So Liereyy is going to build a dock, start fishing, and when he has 2 fishing ships, suddenly there's going to be fire galleys there from Mr.Yo. This is so painful for Liereyy.
Yeah, this is so sick from Yo. I love it. And it looks like he's even sending a villager to the south where Lierey's also going. So it's like anywhere Liereyy goes for fish, Yo's already going to be there.
Indeed. Yo might run into the villager. Nope, he actually dodges and doesn't see it. So obviously Liereyy has the mobility now with the scouts, which is always nice. But Yo just has a clear edge, winning the water on the bottom. He could even start fishing on the bottom, which is exactly what he's doing as well. And Liereyy still hasn't touched a single pile of gold, meaning he will not ever be able to compete with the water. And there we go, dock on the top side for Yo. And that fish that Liereyy has suddenly started fishing, that's about to disappear as well.
Also, what I love about it is Yo didn't get close to the dock in the north. It's the small things, right? He didn't even let Liereyy know that he spotted it because he was out of there the second that he saw that, knowing that Liereyy would react. Now, Liereyy does have scouts. Yo is trying to get some villagers to other resources soon, so that's going to be something to keep an eye on. And Liereyy is transitioning into farms and has range tech coming in soon, so crazy stuff.
Yo even scouted the bottom dock now and confirmed it with the scout, so he knows that there is a dock there. Yo is on point this game, man. On point.
Wow. Dude, he scouted every pond with that scout and killed Lierey's scout. He's still keeping that active. I would have put that bad boy on auto scout a long time ago. I cannot keep up with that.
It's not only that he has scouted every part of the map, he has scouted and confirmed a dock in every corner of the map as well.
Yeah.
And that's something you usually never get.
Well, dream scenario, he even walled in his villager in the south, so he won't lose that vill, and walled in the villager in the north. This is near perfect play right now. I don't think there's any other way to say it. And Liereyy just doesn't know what to do. He's 1 or 2 steps behind all the time.
Yeah, Liereyy is making fire galleys himself now, though. He is on gold, so he's making some archers, making some fire galleys. He's making a fire galley on the top side as well, because he wants to try and at least save that pond, but Yo already producing a second one there. And only the bottom pond is where I think that Liereyy might be okay. But even there, Yo is producing a second one. Liereyy only has 1.
Crazy. Now, Yo starting to play tower defense at home. He's got 0 farms. He doesn't have many on berries, so I do think there is a concern with balance. He's committed a lot to the ponds, could win the ponds, but might need to think at some point about doing some other things for food. But he's repairing his fire in the south. Liereyy can't do that, and if Liereyy doesn't pay attention there, he's going to be down a fire galley.
Yeah. Liereyy pulling it back now. He's going to repair as well. He does have a villager himself, but he accidentally clicks fishing. What? Oh, that is so sad. He started fishing with the woman, so she didn't repair him in time. Oh, that is so sad for Liereyy. And yeah, Liereyy making 2 fire guys on the top though. He wants to compete for that pond. Yo isn't fishing there though, so I think Yo is fine with that. And resources as well, looking quite healthy here for Yo to be transitioning towards the castle age quite soon. But then again, Liereyy, he's adding a healthy food eco on land. Got solid amounts of farms and still has some fishing ship active. So no matter what, if you look at the villager count or economy count, Liereyy is still very close to Mr.Yo.
Yeah, I talked about it a lot in Hidden Cup, which had cross. I think you need balance on these maps, and I'm a little concerned that Yo hasn't made any farms. You know, even without horse collar, get some food income. It looks like he's going down approach, adding a market at home. Maybe just wants to buy his way up, but
no one should go down approach.
Okay, fair enough. Decent assessment, I suppose. But wait a second, didn't you and Doubt die in the same stage of the tournament? Viper?
Exactly.
Is that why you're so disappointed?
I went Doubt approach.
Oh, okay. Makes sense. Wrong training partner, I guess. Tata was busy or something?
Well, I didn't get to train too much, to be fair, but honestly, I don't think Doubt trained a single set for the tournament.
Okay.
If I recall correctly.
Well, they are maps that most players are going to feel familiar with. So there is some argument to be made that maybe you wouldn't need as much. But what a game we have here. Yo's clicked up, but Lierey's going to be right behind him.
Yeah, and Liereyy wins back the pond in the top, so that's a small victory. He also kept one fishing ship alive to begin with, and now already started adding fish himself. And Yo on the bottom not reacting. Liereyy popping out 3 fire galleys, and Yo was still busy shooting at a palisade, and Liereyy winning back 2 ponds, so suddenly it's 2-2 ponds.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Yo was doing a tower on the gold on the bottom left with the dock villager.
Bottom left. Oh, that one.
Left side.
Where?
Left side. Yeah, not bottom left. Oh,
that didn't make sense.
Liereyy broke the wall though. That's a Doubt tower.
Nice. Not the end of the world for Yo because he's already on stone. That would have been pretty ambitious to say the least because I think he'd have to fully wall it in as well.
Yep.
I think we're about to see some knights though, Viper. It would make sense. The stable's already up for Liereyy, and we do have Lithuanians involved, and Yo's making his stable, so they're coming.
Yeah, Lierey's going crossbow though. He's still committing on the archers, and I expect that to be crossbow. I don't see a second stable. Wouldn't be surprised to see cav archers either, yeah, but Yo will definitely go for... I would expect it to be double stable, but so far only adding 1 stable. Kind of one of each build right now. But yeah, if you look at the economies, of course, Liereyy doesn't have wheelbarrow, which Yo does, but Liereyy has 5 more economic units. Yo is queuing up a galley. Where is he queuing up a galley? What? Oh, he wants to hit the gold from the water with the galley on the left side.
Well, that's funny. I mean, he might need to get Bodkin for that to be hugely effective.
Yeah.
But
he's getting
again, what a sick job from Liereyy. As you're going to see him come forward with these crossbows. And Yo, oh no, Viper. That is not a good town center spot.
Yeah, if he reacts in time, he will not lose too many vills because the... Depends if Liereyy, does he have 20 seconds to wait until his upgrades kick in? If not, Yo might save more vills than he would have liked. Liereyy could, in theory, just wait until the crossbow is there. But yeah, now he sees it and he's probably going to lose a couple of vills here. There's no answer yet. The knights don't even have bloodlines from Yo here. So after all is said and done, I think Liereyy is in a pretty good position.
Yeah. Yo put a lot of effort into the ponds, but he didn't end up winning all of them. And he never transitioned his economy. So he doesn't have good eco. He doesn't have good eco upgrades. He doesn't have good military now in Castle Age as a result. Just regular skirmishers, just knights without bloodlines, and someone like Liereyy is going to be able to pick the proper spots here. Yo is going to have to stabilize his economy somehow, and I feel like maybe his eco is even worse than it should be because he's had so much stone. 400 stone in the bank right now.
Yeah, worth pointing out though is Yo is taking back the ponds both in the south and in the north. So that fish will disappear again for Liereyy. So after that, suddenly village counts again, or economy counts, will look very similar, but still the biggest issue for Yo is that TC got denied. Yo is being active with the Knights and the Spearmen on the front though, but yeah, Liereyy should have enough to defend for now.
Yeah, it looks like Liereyy will clear that.
Oh.
Good micro there from Yo, though. He was able to get some good value.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll be able to get out of there.
Crossbow coming in now on Yo's woodline. Yo has not reacted yet. He has 3 Knights there, though, with upgrades. He could potentially jump on this. Liereyy not scared, though. Wants to take the fight. He can micro, he can 4-shot these Knights. Yo looks like he just wanted to buy some time. But yeah, Yo needs more upgrades on these Knights if he wants to be able to deal with what is actually quite a low number of crossbows from Liereyy, but they're doing a lot of work.
We don't see a second TC for Liereyy. He's actually on stone. I think we could see a lot more fortifications in the middle in the form of towers and maybe even a castle. As Yo is going to run out and finish his TC now. Lose. Oh, he's okay.
Liereyy already lost 1 villager on the gold on the left side to the war galley, and he's now having to pull other villagers to another gold. And that's not a TC again, that's a mining camp. And Yo now dropping the 3rd TC in the center as well. Suddenly, long term, you start to think that Yo is putting himself in a better position.
Definitely. At eco count's pretty similar. Yo still refuses to build a farm, which bothers me so much. But, I mean, he's making it happen here. And the TC spots are on that center area of wood that players would eventually have to push towards. And here comes Yo looping around. And great job from Liereyy. Good defense.
Yeah, very nice quick walls indeed. And I'm starting to think maybe Liereyy... Okay, Lierey's doing a TC now. I was wondering if he was saving the stone to drop a castle in the center. I'm also thinking for Yo's case, maybe he can drop a castle and get the unique tech, which will give his town centers +3 range. That will pretty much nullify any potential damage Liereyy could do. So that will be an option to consider, but yeah, still quite a bit away from a castle drop here for Yo. And again, Yo has the mobility and Liereyy has a lot of exposed resources, so I like that for Yo. But again, I feel the score is way in favor of Yo, even though that doesn't really explain how close this game is right now.
Yeah, you're right about that. I think that Yo is going to start to make some proper transitions economically, which I've been calling for maybe too long. He's got a relic already. I mean, all these things seem to be working well for him, and it's always a concern when you see a player like Liereyy running back home with crossbows. That's not what he tends to do, and all the Knights, Yo needs to react here.
Yeah, under the TC, they also passed a monk of Yo here, and Yo losing 2 vills there, not the end of the world, could have been worse, but he reacts in time. Yeah, worth pointing out again is that Yo got wheelbarrow so early in Feudal Age, or quite early in Feudal Age, and he's just now placing the first farms. What effect does wheelbarrow have the most on? Or what does wheelbarrow affect the most? That is the farms. And just now we have the first farms in Yo. It's very strange.
Well, I love how with the vision of the galley on the left, he's able to see the gold now. And he just keeps coming back to it. And Liereyy, I think his APM is better used elsewhere. I don't think that quick wall there would have saved the situation too much as he loses more vills. And he heads over to the gold, but wheelbarrow also makes your villagers faster when you're running from Knights. So
that's why
there goes Yo. Yeah, makes sense, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that tower will probably go down. Yo is very likely to lose a couple of vills here. Let's see if he runs away when he sees them. Okay, it's 2 monks, so Yo will come in just in time to save that. Very nice reaction from Yo. And right now, Yo is just defending, using a few knights to counter raid and defending with monks himself. And there's the castle. And Yo is doing his own castle. It's a castle on castle.
Oh, and now we canceled it.
And now Liereyy comes with his castle. Wait, how does... What?
What do you do? You can... I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do, but he's going to make his own castle. Woo.
I don't think that castle reaches the villagers, though, because Yo only has fletching.
Yeah.
So castle from Yo will go up faster, but I think the castle from Liereyy will go up as well. And suddenly we're thinking, okay, whoever makes Imperial Age faster might have an edge here. And I think Yo is looking easier, like better to transition to Imperial Age than Liereyy.
Well, Yo's going to ram that down. And Liereyy doesn't have an answer to rams. He doesn't have a Siege Workshop out. So, yes, but if Yo instantly responds with rams, which he's doing, Liereyy could lose that castle. But that was crazy. I mean, that was almost picture-perfect tile per tile there, as Yo is going to bring in relic number 3, which is huge.
Yeah, Yo has a lot of items, so he has 13 villagers sitting in the castle right now. I'm not sure if he realizes that they're all there. Liereyy is building up petards. Not sure if that is an attempt. He's also making a Siege Workshop. He's making a Mangonel now, so he will have the units there to deal with the ram. But
okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure why Yo is still sitting with 13 villagers inside the castle. That seems a bit wasteful.
Probably, yeah, I don't know. Do you, he also tasked his castle to Lierey's castle. So he's not hitting the crossbows right now. And there he fixes that. But do you get Bodkin in Yo's position just for your castle? And, you know, maybe TCs.
I think I would rather here, like, you always can almost drop a second castle, but I think in this case it might even make sense for Yo to sell the stone, buy food, and rather go to the Imperial Age.
Okay.
He's still producing villagers though, so, but I feel like in this case it's just get to Imp, grab down the castle, and the game is kind of heavily in your favor.
And could maybe pressure this southern side of the wood line, like the south middle-ish, and that's where Yo wants to drop a castle right now.
Goes for even more ambitious.
I would like for that to be further forward, but he doesn't really have military, so.
Yeah. Can't really support that indeed. Now, the crossbow numbers of Liereyy are still the main issue, but yeah, Yo going on the top side now, picking up another relic, and Yo is closing in on having all 5 relics. I'm not sure where the 5th relic is. I can't really see it on the map. Oh, it's in the center.
It might be in a monk's hand.
It's in the center.
Oh, yeah, it is in the middle. Yeah.
So, yeah, looking like Yo might even be able to get all 5 relics long term.
Well, that matters for the gold, but also if he makes knights. And I don't think even with relics you necessarily want to make a ton of knights against Japanese. In fact, the only knight he has is a knight he converted from Liereyy that doesn't even benefit from the attack upgrades. So, good and exciting. I know that it just feels so satisfying to get that, but at the same time, probably might want to opt for skirmishers if you're Yo. And you called it market abuse. Looks like Yo is really thinking about going Imperial Age here.
Yeah, here is... I have to point out Liereyy, I feel like he has done a better transition to land economy. His farming setup looks bigger, he has more on food compared to Yo. So long term that could really benefit him, because Yo is not really committing heavily on the farming yet. He has some fish on the top, on the right side, and even on the bottom side now, but his farming eco is still not very healthy. So that's something Yo really should probably focus on getting up and running. But yeah, Yo with some monks and a mangonel in the center as well, trying to put some pressure on Lierey's woodline. And what happened to Yo's castle?
Yo's castle has gone down. I assumed the petards that were in there.
I'm gonna go back with the capture age to watch the castle disappear. Oh, Liereyy sent 7 petards in. And
7?
He almost finished the job. The castle survived with 79 HP, and then the castle of Liereyy finished the job.
7. Yeah, you need 8 to get a full HP castle, so I'm just surprised it took that many. He also lost 4 villagers to a knight with no upgrades underneath his TC at the same time, so that's kind of a problem. As you see, the archer ranges for Yo, so he will be going elite skirm. And Lithuanians, you think about their knights, you think about their start with all their extra food, but their skirmishers are insane. What would Liereyy do against that, man? This is going to be brutal for him.
Yeah, villager difference as well, getting quite massive now in favor of Yo. He has 101 economy units to 75. And with the faster Imperial Age as well, the skirms will surely buy him enough time to transition to whatever else you want to do as a follow-up. Yep. And with the castle as well, Yo is doing a second castle on the top side now as well, as getting good trades with the mangonel in the center. Looks like it's going to be 1-for-1 trade in the end, at the end of the day. Oh, Yo even gets the kill. And
is he going to auto attack? Okay, never mind. I thought he'd lose it, Viper. And yeah, what do you do to stall out right now if you're Liereyy? Because that's what he needs, right? He needs to stall things out, but it's tough to do that on Atacama.
Well, killing a lot of ills on the woodline on the right side is a good start for Liereyy. Still no ballistics though, so it's not as much guaranteed damage unless you're on top of the units. But yeah, Yo coming in with some elite skirms now. Still missing armor upgrades on those, but finally getting that in. And Yo also has ballistics, so I don't think Liereyy will ever escape this, as Liereyy is trying to dodge. But yeah, skirms moving faster for Lithuanians as well. Very lucky.
Castle.
Clean up everything. Oh,
Castle
Doubt is here again.
We've seen more doubt than doubt in this tournament, it feels like.
Indeed. Yo immediately 2 trebuchets in production, and Liereyy going for samurai. He has done some infantry upgrades, and he now has 6 samurai, I guess, to try and they have special attack against unique units, so kind of makes sense, but at the same time, samurai is probably not a reliable unit here, as he moves out on the top side as well and runs straight into Yo's second castle.
Ooh. Yeah, Liereyy probably just hit him. That there's nothing he can do. He will lose his castles. If the answer to Skirmisher was Samurai, he's not going to have the building that creates them. And man, what a game from Yo. I mean, early Feudal was just a masterclass. And while it looked a little iffy and Liereyy responded well, I'm still just so satisfied watching that. That was so cool.
Yeah, very much strategic. And you can tell her that Yo, I'm not sure if had done his homework, you can say, based on Lierey's playstyle. Because Liereyy just does exactly what Liereyy does. He plays what he thinks is the best approach. And exactly the same he did against Doubt. It worked out against Doubt. And Yo, watch this at game. What does Yo do? He just does exactly the right strategy to counter the way Liereyy wanted to play. And it just worked out perfectly. The way Yo was on top of the scouting, like finding the docks on the bottom, dock on the top, sneaking the dock on the left and the right start, just put him so far ahead. And Liereyy just struggled really to catch up, really had to compensate in different areas of the game. And then that didn't really work out either. But at the same time, credit to Liereyy. He managed to stay in the game for a long time. I think a lot of people would have just fallen out quite fast based on the opening. But Liereyy did some counterattack with the crossbows and made it a close game still. But in the end, Yo just able to take his early lead and bring it home.
Yeah, based on that start, I did not expect that game to go imp. That's how dominant it looked. And Liereyy, he held on there and gave himself real opportunities. But Yo with a really solid position. 2-0 isn't necessarily enough where you start to get ahead of yourself if you're Yo, especially against Liereyy. Lierey's had some comebacks, but to win on Arabia and then win on Atacama, again, maps where maybe many might favor Liereyy over Yo, is good for Yo, as all of his home maps are still banked up, and we won't see them unless he loses a game.
Exactly. And so far, so good. 2-0 for Yo. And Islands? Yo has Islands as a home map. Nomad. You feel like Nomad is a map that should favor Yo. Islands is a map that could go either way. So in Arena as well, it's like none of these players are clowns. So
yeah,
it's like I would feel very, very comfortable right now if I was in Yo's shoes.
True. Yeah, I think Liereyy and Yo have made some equally questionable decisions on Arena based on some of the games I've seen. But up next will be either Lands Madness or Gold Rush. So I guess if we try and speculate here on what civs might come, I mean, civs are going to be there. There's still plenty of civs remaining, but let's just say it's going to be Gold Rush next. What direction do you think Liereyy will take this?
If we look at the civilizations here, Liereyy still has Aztecs open. I think Aztecs kind of leans well towards Gold Rush. Liereyy likes to play civs like Malians and Tatars there as well. Malians is probably for Nomad though. So Tatars, I think, makes a lot of sense for Liereyy. And if it is Gold Rush, I would expect that. On Yo's side, I guess Khmer, something like Khmer or Vikings.
Yep.
Probably for Gold Rush for him.
Yeah, I think that what would really be tough for Yo, if Liereyy were to go Gold Rush now, is he's going to be tempted to go Khmer, which is a solid Gold Rush civ against most civs but Aztecs. I think Aztecs can do quite well. They don't have to worry about the Scorpions and the Knights because they can just go for a lot of monks with their infantry. So it'd almost be better for Yo's long-term thought process and civ selections to see Land Madness first, because he knows what to go for. That's his number one pick, Magyars.
Yeah. Either way,
yeah, we'll
Gold
see.
Rush is confirmed as map 3. So
Cool.
there you have it. I'm gonna go to the bathroom quickly, so I'll be right back in just 2 minutes.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so game 3 coming up. Yo's looking good. The civilization's looking fairly even. I think it's fair to say that Liereyy needs a response here. Not sure what the viewers think. The viewers always think the opposite of the casters. At least me, anyways. It's probably the opposite. Anything Viper says is taken as complete fact regardless, and I'm questioned a little bit more, but rightly so. Rightly so. I think we're in different spots in our careers. But anywho, I'm curious to see how this goes, and I am just astounded at Yo's level. I mean, the scout, man, it's really the small things that sometimes get me, because there's so many things that players have to do. It's already so complicated. That weak scout from the trap to the confirming in every single pond was just a work of absolute art. Beautiful. I rarely get chills in Age of Empires, but I got chills watching that. And I say rarely because you get used to the quality that's around, and it's so high. And that was just even higher. And Liereyy might be thinking, uh-oh, is it not my day? What's the situation, right? So we'll know soon enough, I suppose. Also, I have absolutely no clue if Viper has muted me on his side, so this is awkward. But if he did not, hopefully I'm giving some insight before we get here. When you see Genius, you get chills. Pretty much Cornish Penguin, pretty much. Now, I'm not going to tell jokes about Viper. That's unfair to Viper. I would never do that. He's not here. Why would I make jokes about someone when there's already so much that's been said by others? I'm kidding. It's a joke. See, that in itself was a joke about not making a joke. That is what we call satire and not at all serious. Okay? Game 3 will be on Gold Rush, and I think they've launched it. So I'll at least confirm the civs here. Viper doesn't know the tricks yet because he's kind of new to this casting scene, but it's pretty unprofessional for him to have to step away to go to the bathroom. You need to have a catheter in before you start a big day of Age of Empires. That's been the meta since 2019. I have a sheet of casting tips I'll pass along to Viper later, and hopefully he will provide a better experience for the next tournament he hosts. It will be Vikings Aztecs for the next game, and what I would call a must-win game for Liereyy. And I'm going to try and be respectful and wait a little bit for Viper,
okay,
but we do have the game here, so I'll talk about general things.
I'm back.
Ah, he's back. Awesome, Viper. It's Vikings versus Aztecs. A very fun Civ matchup to talk about. I'm glad you're back. I was going crazy without you.
All right. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, Vikings. I mean, okay, so think to Arabia when Aztecs was always picked. What civs did people pick to counter Aztecs? Not only in Red Bull, but also on random map. King in the Desert. What civ did they pick to counter Aztecs?
Vikings.
Exactly, Tinani. Well done. 10 points to Gryffindor. So, Yo again with, I assume, expected Liereyy to go for Aztecs and goes Vikings. Yo is just making all the right decisions, and in theory, Vikings is a really good counter for this because you have the amazing infantry, you have the amazing economy, and you can compete on every front with the Aztecs. So yeah, it will be very interesting to see how Liereyy decides to approach this. If he goes for the massive eagle play, if he feels comfortable just going for crossbows, war against Vikings, and yeah, if Yo gets to like a later situation where he can have berserks roaming the field, he will be very happy with his situation.
This is a normal Gold Rush map generation on drugs. Look at every other map gen on Gold Rush, and that's Gold Rush. And then this is your Gold Rush on drugs. Gold positions are extremely awkward. Look at Liereyy. Berry position is beyond a wood line, which is also awkward. Then you look at Yo's position. I mean, it's not quite as bad, but even his golds are awkward. So this is potentially going to be a very different Gold Rush game because they have to adapt their approach to not only their map, but the opponent's map.
Yeah, I wonder if they will, even if they scout the gold position of the opponent. I'm not sure if they can justify with the distance between them. It's a super long distance from player A to player B. So, like, trying to make something happen with this distance is very difficult. And we see Yo though going for the pre-mill drush, and he doesn't have loom yet. And Lierey's eagle is about to pop in, and Liereyy surely wants to have some hits on this villager, but it's still so close to the town center that you'd imagine that Yo will get safely back home. And
will Liereyy react? Yeah, good job from Liereyy. We should see a gate here.
Oh.
Yeah.
And another gate.
Nice.
Too much to ask for there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
good
thing for Yo now is the eagle is chased to run the other direction, meaning he will not spot the barracks. And funnily enough, the barracks, the intention of this militia that Yo has made is not to be a part of a bigger drush. It's to have a lions chase him across the map into the economy of Liereyy. And with the berries being so far away, and look what Yo has scouted, do you have any idea what the direction this militia is taking right now?
They're going to go directly underneath the town center. Or to the berries, one or the other. I'm not sure. I'm not good enough to be able to call it. Viper, help me out. You're the procaster here. When it's a wolf, you say woo woo woo. When it's a group of lions, what do we say?
I don't even want to try that. On Liereyy trying to wall off now, but the militia is coming just in time. And again, Liereyy has to make some insane quick balls now, not only here, but also on his berries. And he is going to pull them off. But either way, no matter what, this is just so annoying for Liereyy. And the lions will... Oh, he gets in as well. Oh!
No!
Delete the militia. Delete the militia. Oh, okay. I think Yo misplayed that a little bit. He should have just deleted the militia as soon as he was in. Just to make all the lines spread on the villagers. And this is idle time for Liereyy. It's annoying. But you know what? In the end, I don't think this was necessarily It wasn't a big investment for Yo, but if you calculate the resources Liereyy lost now with all this idle time, probably was more than 80 resources that Yo spent on the militia.
I think that was a massive misplay. I think he should have deleted it either by the berries or by the Waldenville.
Yeah.
Because the only way that that gets dealt with is villagers have to fight that are very far away from the TC. Taking it close to the wood line, there might be more villagers there, but that's the result. So I think Lierey's going to be very, very... he's going to be thanking his... he's going to be happy. Sorry, words fail me. That happened that way. As he didn't even have loom.
Yeah. No, definitely. Like just deleting the militia at some point when it's within the vicinity of Lierey's villagers. And Liereyy also, like, for example, his berries, he had 16 fruit left on those. So if Liereyy wasn't paying attention, he could have easily over-foraged and those lands would have been in. So yeah, a little bit of potential kind of missed out on there for Yo. But yeah, Yo securing his whole map here, and the Josh was still annoying for Liereyy to deal with, and they're both going to transition into a castle age here. Quite nice and safe.
So, not 5, sorry. Let's say 3 years ago with Vikings. I think it was a common strategy to see fast castles, right? Archer Civ, decent eco, and, you know, that's what you'd see. Now, you don't see fast castles with Vikings as frequently because more and more players are taking advantage of free wheelbarrow. So it just makes more sense to go aggressive in feudal age. That way you can take advantage of your eco bonuses sooner rather than later. With all that said, is this not better for Aztecs to have a fast castle war because it keeps Vikings further away from that bonus?
So you're saying that it's disadvantageous to go for fast castle because you don't get wheelbarrow, but you know that when you get to castle age, you get handcart.
Okay, all right. But
I mean,
okay, that's.
Are we just ignoring that fact, or
no? We're just listen. It's very important to use whatever facts you have to back up your points as a caster. You don't necessarily have to present all the facts because all the facts might not back up your point, Viper. Come on, man.
Okay, gotcha.
But, I mean, as I look at the positions right now, Yo had to make a barracks. Yo doesn't have the res to click up. Liereyy will have the res to click up. So it looks much better for him.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Yo did there with his economy, why it's so off. And also, I don't really like the way Yo is walling the left side. I feel like that could be more effective, but okay. But yeah, Yo's castle is going to be put off quite a bit here. And it's interesting that he goes for a stable. Liereyy just going for the market blacksmith, so Liereyy is very likely just going to play full eagles here. And Yo with stable, probably not the best response to eagle for a Viking player.
Yeah. That was the other thing I was thinking of, is just you're also giving the Vikings a hard pass to be able to get to that eagle war. But, you know, point you brought up earlier, just because the maps are a bit more open doesn't mean you can just comfortably go fast feudal. There's lions you'll run into unintentionally. Yeah. Players are really far away from each other, so I think it does make sense to just kind of predetermine your strat when the game starts.
I think Yo has made a bit of a misplay with the use of his scout as well here. That scout should have been on the front of Lierey's base the whole feudal age, just to find out what exactly Liereyy is making. And just now he's going to confirm that it's multiple eagles, and I think if Yo saw this earlier, he might have just gone barracks market and even played men-at-arms himself, potentially.
Okay.
But yeah, there's no second barracks yet for Liereyy, so this still seems like maybe just arena style, where you maybe make a couple eagles, make a monastery, try to get some relics, and kind of take it from there. So maybe the stable is actually even a better play with that in mind.
Both players having some of their gold outside of their walls. The difference being that Yo has a 4-tile gold outside of his walls, and he's working with 3. And then Lierey's working on 4 with 3 outside of his walls. So I'd say advantage Liereyy in both aspects, both eco, at least for now, as we see supplies for Yo, but also just the, you know, the timing. Eagle massing does take a bit of time. You're going to want to get the monks out, get the upgrades. So the longer Liereyy can chill here, as you could say, he's going to be happy.
Yeah, this doesn't feel like big commitment though from Liereyy. He has a lot of villas on gold, I'll give you that, but it's a second TC. There's no sign of Eagle Warrior upgrade yet, although it could come very shortly. And I'm not sure if double barracks supplies men-at-arms is really worth it right now to counter this. Maybe like 3 TC behind walls and then switch to barracks might have made more sense for Yo. But yeah, he's committing on the barracks, and who knows, maybe he even stays like, goes like super aggressive in the castle age, or yeah, even dropping more farms. He only has 6 on wood right now. To me, that
Wow.
seems like someone that is not planning to add economy and rather wants to defend a big eagle play. And Yo is not reacting either. The eagles are through on the top side, but Liereyy for some reason does not
What?
go inside. Yo is just
Oh,
chilling
man.
there, mining gold as if he knew this was happening.
Like, okay, do you think it's fair to say that he got distracted because there were 2 areas where there was attacking on his walls?
I sure hope so. Else he has the balls. So yeah, yeah.
You don't need to describe
Yeah,
his
okay.
parts. It's all right.
Okay.
But it's open for later if Liereyy wants to arrive. But man, like that stuff it frustrates me so much because I would never have that happen to me. Any 2K1, 2K2 is gonna send everything through there, and I'm gonna die, and then I'm gonna say this is why I cast. But no, okay, at the highest level, the Open Classic Finals, he just doesn't run in there. Like, come on, man.
Yeah. So Leo has 3 men at arms so far. Longswords on the way. Liereyy with a couple of eagles though. Monks on the way. He's gonna start picking up relics. I feel like Liereyy is currently transitioning better, but the thing here is, depending on how many militia or men at arms or longswords rather that Yo commits to, he might have to just play an all-in aggression in the end here, because if he doesn't add thesis soon, then yeah, you know what? There's a big chance Yo doesn't even realize he's open on the left side, because Liereyy
I don't think
destroyed
he
it.
knows.
Yeah, Liereyy destroyed it and left.
I would know that there was a hole there, but it would be too late and I'd be dead. Because
Yeah.
they'd actually go in. And here comes Liereyy. And Yo maybe hoping to surprise Liereyy as he saves a villager, or oh, actually it's really close. He might lose a villager to a wolf on the right, Viper, or a lion, excuse me.
Oh, the scout not helping. Okay, he does survive. But yeah, this is Yo's plan now. He's going to go forward siege and he's going to go full out with the longsword aggression here. And Liereyy has still making eagles, double barracks eagles, even an archery range being dropped now. So he wants to make a switch into some crossbows as well. But he still has 3 monks, and those monks are going to be crucial to what is happening right now.
Getting Sanctity now, so he'll have so much more HP. Hopefully he doesn't waste his conversion there. Oh, the scout comes in. This is before Sanctity, but that was a really fast conversion.
Yeah, he did move the conversion from the knight over to the scout, and obviously there's 3 monks there. Now, they all burn their juice, though, so in theory, this would be the perfect time for Yo to charge, but yeah, you don't feel safe enough to go in yet. And Liereyy scouts this and has kind of good track and control over what is happening right now. Villager count, 6 in favor of Liereyy, but Yo obviously does have handcart. Liereyy doesn't even have wheelbarrow yet, though, by the way, so that's a bit of an ugly one. But yeah, double range now for Liereyy, making that archer transition happen. And the thing, though, is Yo is making scorpions. He might mix in some mangonels as well, and his army from Yo could be really hard to stop very soon.
Yep. I think that, well, what Yo is doing is probably what you should aim to do against this civilization. Hasn't quite been at the time that he needs as he makes another barracks forward. Also, a side note, just in case Yo runs out of gold, and he is working his way through it, there's an eagle patrolling on that gold outside of his walls. So maybe in a crucial moment in 5 to 10 minutes, that eagle will snag a few villager kills. But it's going to be more about this big fight. If Liereyy can get a conversion with every monk, as Yo goes in with scouts here, I think that Lierey's going to be in a really good spot to get a win.
Yeah, Liereyy does have a couple of crossbows now. Numbers are growing. 5 monks as well, even 3rd archery range. There's still no bodkin arrow, though, for Liereyy. That's probably something he should prioritize. And yeah, monks again. The monks have... How much HP do they have now? They have 50 HP already. So the nice thing for Yo having the stable is that he can make those scouts to try and snipe the monks. But what? Lierey's sending villagers out.
He didn't know about the Siege Viper. He really wanted to go for a town center there. And the monks don't have redemption. So they won't die to 1 hit. And that is the power of God. Good conversions there for Liereyy. Good defense. Huge clear up.
Yeah, Yo's pressure is shut down in an instant. The thing is, this pressure came at 24 minutes when they have been in castle for 7-8 minutes already. It just feels like it comes so late here that Liereyy had all the time in the world to respond. And now, Yo, when you see the guy who's going for something like this, adding town centers, that's when you know that he as well realized that this pressure did not work as intended.
Yeah, and he's going to realize he's really far behind now, too, based on how he's played this. But you still play it out. You might get lucky, and maybe Liereyy will have a small misplay. Here come the villagers to the gold. So that will be nice for Liereyy if he spots that. And, you know, Aztecs just have no weaknesses, man. They have no weaknesses. Open maps, closed maps, it feels like they're always up there in the conversation. They can do everything. Excellent economy, excellent military, and really tough to find an answer unless you completely outplay them.
Yeah, indeed. Makes you question as well if... Yeah, I feel like Yo's reaction upon seeing the Eagles was instant supply, second barracks.
Yeah.
But the barracks were all at home. Yo had all the vision with the scout where the Eagles were. I didn't feel like he was under any threat at that point in the game. So maybe just adding TCs and adapting more, which is kind of what is the strength of Vikings, because you have that super strong economy. Could have been a better option, but obviously in hindsight, everything is way easier.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. He had only seen one barracks as an opening for Liereyy, yet he played it as if Liereyy was going 3 or 4 barracks all in against him.
Exactly.
And you can understand why he would think that, because that's what Aztecs would normally do. Big moment in the middle. Oh, nice Maganel shot. Liereyy not paying attention to his archers for once.
Well, the issue though is that there are still 5 monks there. Light Cav are getting on top of them, but still, those monks have so much HP, and
wow.
If Yo keeps chasing it, it's going to be 5 conversions, and yeah, Yo just he has no way of engaging this at the moment, and I don't see a time or place where he can, even doing Redemption now, which is going to add another 5 HP to the monks and let him convert Siege. I just don't see a point where Yo can possibly snipe those monks either with his light cav that it's making, especially now they're getting so tanky as well.
The only thing that Liereyy was, the missing ingredient for Liereyy to fully control the middle and probably win this game was Redemption. He has that, he converts all the knights and all the siege, and then the archers kill everything else. And he still has a villager lead, and it's now 25 or so vills, with Yo outside of his eco taking gold. And that's easily rateable. So Yo's going to probably go for one big push here, Viper, and I think he's hoping Redemption won't be in, and he's going to find out the hard way that it is.
Liereyy in the base of Yo now as well, broke through the gate and is attacking those villagers on the wood. Notice Lierey's overchopped on his own woodline as well, so if Yo just went there, he could have potentially done a lot of damage, yeah. But as you said, this game will now come down to the big push Yo is making, and with a 20 villager lead for Liereyy, unless he takes some massive hits there on the crossbows. Oh, there's a conversion happen really fast, and he's going to take the other mangonel with him. Great move by Liereyy.
Yeah, good job to focus that after the conversion. That was one of the fastest conversions I've seen in this tournament, but I don't think there's any doubt it was going to get converted anyways, so no need to get too upset about it. And Lierey's just pushing out across the map right now. There's just nothing Yo can do.
Yeah, Liereyy also moving to make a TC on the stone on the right side, so he's going to have 4 TCs now, and he's looking towards Imperial as well if you look at his resources. And Yo, again, just miles away. But we know Yo as well. He's not a player to resign early until it's like super over. True. And rightfully so, he should play on until he thinks it's over. But looking from our perspective right now, it's looking so good for Liereyy, and Liereyy would have to make massive mistakes to actually lose the game from here.
Okay, Viper, it's time. I have a question for you. I've been waiting since the last time we casted together, which has been a bit, to ask you this.
Okay.
Last time we were casting together, I asked you how the monk inside the relic trick was working, and you said that you didn't want to spill your secrets because you didn't know if they would fix it, and it was helping you. And they fixed it, and I want to know how you were doing it, because I was testing and pressing hotkeys and doing all this crap, and I couldn't figure it out. That's Lierey's MTC, by the way, about to go down to longswords.
Yeah, probably not the best TC to do Imperial Asian, the most exposed one. But yeah, okay, Liereyy doesn't cancel either, so he will just have to reposition that Imperial Asian. Well, if Yo is going to make a comeback, moves like this is what's going to make that comeback happen. But yeah, Liereyy clicking up in another TC now, and Yo just... Oh, I would have loved it if it was that TC, the next TC in line, that it was going to make it a little bit more exciting. Look at the score, it's... After Liereyy, oh, Yo got in. Even after clicking up.
And also, Yo is sending vills to Castle Drop where Liereyy has no military.
Don't tell me this is going to be possible. Liereyy also doesn't have stones, so Liereyy cannot make a castle himself. And he's losing villages now.
I was also going to ask you,
and conversions.
It shouldn't be possible, right?
It shouldn't be possible, right?
He deletes the Maganel, he runs away with the longswords, the castle's on the way up, Liereyy hasn't reacted yet, Viper's finding more and more reason not to answer my question. He's very happy that Yo is coming back because he doesn't want to tell people in case the bug comes back next patch. But still looks like Liereyy should be able to win this with Arbalest. We have a few moments though, Viper. Tell me. How did you do it?
The castle is almost up. It's not going to be denied though. And Yona can start taking gold in the center. He's doing another mangonel. But yeah, let's just see now. Upon Liereyy hitting Imperial, he's going to get Arbalest. Obviously, he has 44 crossbowmen on the map. The issue for Liereyy right now is that he keeps chasing units of Yo around. And if you look at the score, it's getting so close. And Yo has 40 longswords himself. That is a lot of longswords.
Also, he could get a big mango shot and a big delete here next to the siege workshop, but he didn't eject it yet. Okay, it's not going to be as exciting as I thought, and it's actually possible that the mangonel ejects when the siege workshop gets converted. Eventually, there it is.
Yeah, Yo's going to be going for Ran, so he wants to make a big push at him now. He should expect that Liereyy is on the way to Imp, given how this game has played out so far. And yeah, but then again, Yo's doing a fantastic job at buying himself some time. He probably has to make some sort of skirmisher switch or something to buy him time as well against these archers. Yo's going to go for a TC in the center just after 30 Arbalest or crossbow passed. And that's what better time, you know? So
Yo, what game sense? If you could even call that game sense as Liereyy arrives here. And yeah, I mean, he's been working with so many longswords.
Ooh.
And Liereyy didn't react here.
He's losing all the Arbalest. That's his whole defense. He was counting on those units to defend his base while he was counterattacking with the other crossbow. And Yo cleaning up most of them and can now start working on the town center.
He's ramming down the other town center. I mean, Yo is not making this easy for Liereyy, let's put it that way, but I think the fact that he delayed the ranges is huge. There's still so many arbs at Yo's base. Yeah. I think it was a mistake for Yo to make the ranges there. He could have ranges up in the back of his base, and if he had that, he could have skirms coming out, but the longswords are still slowly going down, even though they're getting value in Lierey's base, and Lierey's still way on top.
Yeah, Liereyy just running through the TC of Yo as well on the main TC of Yo, and Yo suddenly has half his economy idled, and if Yo is looking to have any way to come... I mean, look at Yo's resource. Doing another castle now in center. He has so much wood. He could have easily have had 30 skirms on the map at this point.
I know. Yeah.
That could have easily made this a very interesting game. But now, feels like Liereyy did stabilize enough. He's getting his own castle as well. And he's going to start trapping down the castles of Yo. And with the Arbalest in Yo's space, idling everything in every angle, I think Yo has no way to come back from here.
Great. So it's perfect time to resume our conversation.
There's a castle in the center, T90. Look.
Okay, the castle's up. Now, anyways, let's resume our conversation about how you did that.
Game is over. Well done to Liereyy, making this a closer set, 2-1 in favor of Yo still. Liereyy taking the win with Aztecs, which was kind of... I feel like Liereyy played fairly standard and getting the eco going.
I don't care anymore.
Well, Yo just kind of... He went kind of too... Yo was trying to be too smart, if that makes sense. What do you think?
Yeah. Yep. It was a game. The score's 2-1. I'm never gonna get to know. You're never gonna tell us, right?
Okay, I'll tell you. Are you ready?
Tell me. Yes.
So you have to click in a very specific angle when you're like about to drop the relic. The monk has to be pointing a very specific angle for the relic to drop on top of the monk.
Is it diagonal? Is it northeast? Is it north? Is it south? What angle?
Why do you have to know that specifically?
I mean, we can't do it anymore. What's the point? What's the hurt in telling us? It's an old bug. You know, you just don't want to tell us.
Well, okay. So the way you do it is clicking the drop relic hotkey.
Okay, while clicking them at a specific angle.
Sure.
You're full of something that I won't say because I know you're streaming too, and I don't know what you want on your channel. But geez, dude, you are like pulling teeth getting information out of you. Yes. Full of shit is what you're full of, Viper. Anyways, game 4 is coming up. I've given up hope now, so we can move on back to the series.
Okay, I'll tell you for real now. Okay. I'm not even gonna this will be.
I don't even trust. I don't even trust you.
I know you won't trust me, but this time I'm telling you the exact way you do it. Yeah. Okay. You click drop relic hotkey.
That's not true, because
it is true.
I told you I tried this.
But it's not my fault that you don't know how to click the hotkey.
I set the hotkey with no intention of using that hotkey for any other reason. I would never use that hotkey if I was actually being attacked by a unit. I only wanted to do it to see if the trick worked. I
That
set a new hotkey, and it still didn't work.
that's how I did it.
Okay. All right.
I can't
Okay.
explain it either. I don't know why it happens sometimes and sometimes not. But all I did was pretty much click the hotkey
All right. I
at a very specific angle.
I trust you more than I trusted you at the start of this conversation. That doesn't necessarily mean it's a lot. Liereyy just lost, or sorry, just won his first game, and now we get to see a Yo home map. We are going to see Nomad. So let's circle back to the civs. And is this pretty clear cut? Is it going to be Spanish versus Malians?
Yeah, I don't see any other options considering the civs they have. And Yo loves Nomad. Yo loves to play Spanish and Nomad. I would enter this game feeling very confident about Yo potentially making it 3-1 even.
Okay. Now, I guess we might want to wait a little bit until we get into the game to discuss it. But my opinion on 1v1 Nomad, granted, the version is way better than I thought it would be for us, and it's provided more balanced games. But water just seems to be so important. Do you feel like you almost always have to contest for water, or can you get by with being greedy and giving up your fishing ships at some point?
Well, Yo's playstyle in this Spanish is fairly straightforward. Either he goes for a tower rush or he goes for fast castle conquistadors.
Okay.
And that's also while not ignoring water. So then you have to ask the question, what is the best way to counter that? Now, we saw Taro against Yo earlier. Taro did a really nice job initially, making sure he survived the conquistador pressure and kind of transitioned into a decent early Imperial Age. But he was not finding the right angle or way to close out the game. So it's it's tricky. I don't think you can ignore water at all. But there's also has to be a question has to be asked: how much do you commit on water? At what
Yeah.
point are you overcommitting on water? And that's the difficult balance to find, especially when you're supposed to deal with conquistadors on land. And nomad conquistadors is like the worst unit to face because they just get everywhere, and you feel like you have exposed resources everywhere. And yeah, it's just a nightmare.
Speaking of nightmares, Yo won't know this yet. We're in the game here. Yo benefits from building his town center faster with Spanish, which is great, and a bonus that works all around. He doesn't really have a good map for resources here, Viper. This is the RNG that Nomad brings to the table. And up until this point, my opinion of 1v1 Nomad being a little risky for big tournaments has not really come to be. But is this the worst map gen we've seen? He can't get stone easily. He can't get gold easily. He's really going to have to treat this like a completely different game, I feel.
Yeah, but then again, stone isn't too far away if he looks to the right side or to the downside. Of course, it is awkward to get there and actually take it comfortably, but it's not impossible, right? But yeah, it is definitely rough. Even gold for him can be awkward if Liereyy gets some sort of control or walls it in some way. So yeah, definitely a bit of a rough position for Yo there. Liereyy, on the other hand, kind of spawning in the middle of the map. So if
Yeah.
conquistadors start roaming the fields, it's very awkward to defend when you are in the middle of the map.
True.
So
Yep.
there's pros and cons to both things here. Just to point out how we made this nomad map more fair is pretty much by trying to ensure equal villager spawn distance between both players and also making sure no players can spawn next to the water. So the reason Nomad has been so RNG based in the past, obviously spawning where you will spawn has a massive say on that. But also the fact that a Persian player, for example, could spawn with one villager next to the shore, meaning he
Yep.
could make a dock house, start taking fish immediately, giving Persians and Malians, for example, fantastic starts. While the other guy could be spawning all three villas across the different universes and having to meet up somewhere. And yeah, so pretty much no villagers can spawn next to the water, and there's somewhat of an equal villager distance spawn, which I think has worked out really well for this tournament, as I think the tournament has been giving really good nomad games, and I haven't seen a nomad game where I felt like, oh, this guy had an unfair advantage because of the spawn.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. My fingers are crossed this isn't the one. But the thing about Nomad is you can't treat it like the previous game where you just know what you're doing in Dark Age, right?
Yeah.
You have ideas of your options, but in the previous game, they're doing one thing and they're going to Castle Age. And here, Yo's going to have to make some changes, I feel, based on his map, and maybe it's the classic Scout Rush into Tower Rush, which is always good for control, as Yo brings in this boar from very far away. That I believe is what separates Nomad from every other map. It is you cannot always do the same thing.
Yeah, I like that Yo did as well. He went for the far board first, just to like, why not, you know? And you have the closer board for later, and you already had a board under the TC, so just securing that long-term food eco and more efficient for him, because he's gonna have what now, 4 boars maybe even, at least 3 boars, and he also knows there is stone there. He knows there's gold there, so I feel like Yo is still happy with this spawn. He only needs like 2 towers as well to kind of secure the resource on the right side, and there's also berries there. And you can see Yo already preparing the walls. He wants to wall off the map, and that to me says that he wants to go straight for the Castle Age and straight for Conquistadors. Yo, by the way, with a fantastic start, he had 2 villagers more, and still even now has 2 population more, and that is against Amalians, who gets a dock, house, and a town center immediately.
Yep, and a fishing ship too, right?
Yep.
You can do all that because your buildings are discounted and you save all those resources. I also prefer his dock position. There's a lot more fish over there, as opposed to Liereyy, who's kind of stuck. And the nomad-esque things that I always want to remind people of are so interesting. You actually have Yo scouting with sheep, and he has scouted 50% of the shoreline. So he has an idea that the dock is going to be more towards the left side for Liereyy, which also gives him the intel of, I can play greedy. My fishing ships are going to stay alive a whole lot longer if his dock is somewhere on the other side. So I think Yo, as these crazy walls are going to come up, map aside, might just be able to close off the resources, and he's not going to care too much.
Yeah, and with the dock being on opposite sides of the map, obviously really good for the Spanish player or the guy trying to go for the fast castle.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're 9 minutes in, and Yo has kind of already walled off half of the map, so
crazy.
But like the way people are playing in Spanish these days, at least the most ways I've seen people try, is by trying to go heavy water play.
Yeah.
The issue with going heavy water play, however, is that you let the guy go Conquistadors without any issues.
Yeah.
And Liereyy even now sending a villager to the left side. I think he wants to make a second dock. And the issue for him there is that Yo's fish is not
on the other side.
Yeah, exactly. So Liereyy, villager going back now though, so maybe he changed his mind.
I think it's because he just lost his sheep. Do you see that sheep on the right shoreline moving away? He just lost his sheep to that fishing ship. And I think, you see the villager in the south now. He's going to dock closer to that side. So that's really big call, as he's even sending a fishing ship over.
Oh, he's doing a dock on the top though.
Oh, he's doing both? What?
That's a weird dock. I guess he wants to surround. No, but like there's terrible fish there as well, which is obviously unlucky. But I guess he also feels like this villager needs to do something, so he builds a dock, which can be helpful anyway, and then he just takes the short fish.
Look at this. Yo. Oh, wait a second. Why
would he go for that stone?
I have no clue.
That's to show Liereyy. He wants to show Liereyy what's coming.
No, is he going to cancel that mining camp?
Nope, he's just going to take some food and then he's going to build it.
And then drop it, yeah. Is that why he went to that stone, so he could take the food and build it? That sounds like the only reason to me that you would take that stone.
Not impossible, but yeah. I definitely find it strange that you would go for the forward stone like this. But then again,
he'll be good, so.
Yeah, but it's also, you always play Spanish against other civs now, Nomad 100 times. And every time, I think it seems like people just try to counter it by winning water and sort of getting into the Castle Age with good fish. Yep. So Yo probably doesn't fear anything on land. And that's why he just goes for things like this.
You know, being in the middle is probably the worst thing for Liereyy right now. Because when that castle comes up, he can't wall himself. For viewers who saw the Tato Yo semifinal, which for me, I don't know if you agree, that was the best set of this tournament so far, though I haven't seen them all. Insanely good set, and Tato took the water like Lierey's going to attempt to do here. And then he stonewalled and housewalled and just protected himself. But I would like to consider myself a pretty creative guy. I'm not creative enough to figure out how to full wall this with 200 stone. It would probably take a lot more stone to be able to keep yourself safe here.
Yo trying to make a dock on the top side. He just did a just passing with a fire galley, and he probably wants to consider moving some fish there eventually. You can see what he's doing now. He knows the fire galley is coming across, so he's sending 4 fishing ships to the corner, and those fishing ships will try to circumvent the fire galley from Liereyy once Liereyy starts engaging. So Yo wants to save 4 fishing ships that can go up and work, and then he will just kind of let the other 3 fishing ships be chased, if that makes sense.
Yeah. He either saves 3 or he saves 4.
Yeah.
That's the logic here.
Liereyy, very clever though. Goes to the corner. He knows Yo has done this multiple times before, where Yo hides the fish in the corner and just passes after. Liereyy catches 1 though, but looks like 3 will escape. And all Yo needs is just a little bit of extra food to like have a little bit extra food hitting into Castellation. Yo is on the way up. Liereyy though is building an archery range. His resources are looking very healthy, and he's going to try and compete with the uptime of Yo. The issue right now for Liereyy though is if Yo sends 15 villagers and just slaps that castle down on the archery range of Liereyy, the very thing Liereyy is trying to do now is to build counter units to conks. That would just be shut down.
I think what he might... Well, on the flip side, if Yo deletes his palisades, which is what I think he'll do, and places the castle as part of his wall, not realizing Lierey's right there, and the timing's right for Liereyy, Liereyy could actually deny the castle foundation. So the fact that they're right next to each other and have no clue is insane to me. Well, Liereyy sees the palisades, I guess. But he would never imagine that stone's being taken. That we'll find out here in a sec.
You know what? I think it makes sense to check. Like, he will probably think, oh, wait, here's walled and there's stone. It makes sense to check, right? So I think the archer will go out right away and check that, or not. I don't know.
You could look at the fog of war and see that there's less stone there, which I don't think should be part of the game.
Yeah,
personally.
I agree.
I feel like you should have to scout it, but okay. He scouted it before, so he could say, okay, he's on that stone, because he could just simply see through the fog that stone's being taken.
So we're 30 seconds away from Yo being castled. Against Tato, what Yo did was he deleted the palisades, sent 4 villagers, started building outposts to find the right location. If he does something similar this time, that will backfire heavily.
And I don't know if Liereyy notices this, but it would be such a good play for Liereyy to just wait a second or two. And first thing Yo does is click the water upgrades, which is huge, and he's done a good job saving the fish. I think they'll both die in the north. Yep. And there's the castle!
Liereyy sees it. Why? He sees it, but he's probably not looking there right now. And the longer it takes for Liereyy to react, the better it is for Yo here. This castle is perfect for Yo. Yo will probably have to commit a lot more villagers. He might even have to do a tower. But yeah, this could easily be a doubt castle, and this is exactly what Liereyy needs. And Yo will have to send a lot more villagers, and he's doing exactly that. 7 villagers moving down from the top. I think Yo should even buy stone to build a tower here, and then try to get the castle up, because this castle is crucial. You know what? He's just going to commit. Once he has more vills, he's going to send everything, and I don't think Liereyy will have enough to stop this.
Yeah, I think I'd just like to see Yo pay attention to his vills. Don't throw away vills, because Lierey's going to have a really good water presence. I say that as fishing ships could go down soon, but just pull the weak ones away here, Yo. This is, for the viewers watching, because I know people try and do what these players are doing at home. This is only savable and salvageable with Spanish. If you don't have that building bonus, that is trouble for you, and I guess good reaction from Yo in a really awkward situation for him.
And what's Lierey's answer? Yeah, let's build a town center right next to the castle. Yeah, I mean, I get it. I get it. He wants to secure that side of the gold income, because that is his main gold income. But it's also like, just here, make a mangonel. Come at me, bro.
Yeah, right.
Kind of thing. So yeah, but Liereyy going for a crossbow as the counter to conks. I wouldn't really call that a counter. Conks, once you have 1 armor upgrade, those conks are so powerful. And again, Yo is also kind of winning water at the moment. Although the fires on top side might go down here for Yo, and the fish might go down as well. So yeah, there's the siege workshop coming up. The crossbows will try to break through the wall, but yeah, as soon as Yo has like 4 conks, I think those crossbows are going to go down quite fast.
Interesting water engagements, because while Yo was able to send units out faster, Lierey's the one taking out fishing ships right now. So really good job from Liereyy there. And those fishing ships melt to fire ships. Granted, Yo will have his own in the western side, but I think that's going to be dealt with if Liereyy has reinforcements. Could be wrong, though. Again, if you don't have anything there right in that instant, you are going to lose everything.
I must say I prefer Yo's transition as well to land economy. He has already he's taking berries, he's hunting deer.
Yep.
And that just looks more healthy because in case the fish goes down, he will have a more steady food income. So Liereyy loses those 4 fishing ship now on the left side. Suddenly his food economy is halved. And Yo is just passing though, so
yeah.
that's good, I guess.
Well, Lierey's not producing out of the dock. If Yo sits next to the dock though, and didn't right-click the dock, he'll still get fishing ships as they travel back there. So I think the fishing ships go down anyway. No, he could. Oh no, never mind. We're good. We're good. We're good.
Yeah, and that's obviously something I didn't notice it though. So he's just pulling them back to another dock. So that's nicely done by Liereyy. You spot that because there's a lot of things going on right now, and it's really hard to keep track of everything.
Yep, sure.
Yo now finally building a mangonel as well, so he's going to be able to put some more pressure on the buildings, and also the crossbows cannot be moving around so comfortably anymore. This is a close game.
Yeah, close game between 2 very good players, and I think in these types of games, when you're on game 4, you never want to go down 3-1 because the level's so high. Even if Liereyy even steps it up, which is so hard to do because he plays so good, he's probably going to lose 1 game out of 3 additional ones if he loses here. So he's got to respond to this. I know Tato used guard tower. I'm not necessarily surprised because it is expensive, but do you think that could have been an option for Liereyy? Because he hasn't even considered it.
Yeah, but obviously then Liereyy would have to transition economy to stone and such, so he wouldn't have this, he wouldn't have the arches then, for example, to deny the castle or buy time for the castle. And yeah, there's just like a series of events have to occur for things like that to happen, which changes how this game has been played so far. So it's hard to say if that would have been better or not at this point. But Liereyy now looks like he wants to go for a counterattack with a crossbow. Oops, no, he changes his mind. He feels like he cannot abandon this area. And the thing is, it's going to be Mangonel crossbow against Conquistador crossbow. And Conquistadors have a way easier way of killing Mangonels, meaning you can just jump in, snipe the Mangonels, and then get out of there again. While Liereyy cannot necessarily do the same.
Liereyy needs excellent trades in a really awkward position.
Yeah.
And we know he's no stranger to that, but it is putting him up against it here. And I think it's going to damage his ability to expand his economy. He doesn't have a single eco upgrade here, Viper. Not that Yo's eco upgrades are looking too good, but like these are the things that you cannot focus on. And like you said, Conk takes out the Mangonel, and decent shot there for Yo on the crossbows.
Yo has also added second TC. Farming is starting to pick up for Yo as well. And Liereyy has not made a single farm yet. And that's just the thing. The way to deal with this as well is that you're just investing so many resources. Oh, nice shot though. You're investing so many resources onto defending this now with the wood and everything. You don't feel like you necessarily can afford to start farming. But I think Liereyy... Oh! Big shot, and the Magna doesn't even go down. Yo is looking so good here.
Also, it's such a simple thing, but it's so good for Yo as you're going to see Liereyy get a response. I love how Yo has 2 on stone. Because when you're in Lierey's position, what you don't want is to get pressured and have a follow-up castle. That's what you expect from Yo. But nope, Yo's only had 2 on stone, just enough to get a 3rd TC up. His eco is looking real smooth. And so Yo's economy is just going to get better and better and better. And Liereyy thinks if he doesn't have responses, he dies right now. So as we see a good shot there from Liereyy and another Mangonel down. Ooh, really strong stuff for Yo, I say, as the Kongs disappear before Arise.
Yeah, Yo was a little bit too greedy there. I wanted to go for the kills, but in Lierey's situation right now, you look at the score and you're like, don't even have score lead, and you feel like you won the water. And when you won the water and you don't have score lead, you don't feel great about your situation. But if we look at the population, Liereyy does have a healthy 16 population lead, although that is heavily also including water naturally. But the economic units are still 4 ahead for him, but Yo has more villager.
Yep, Yo switching into farms. I mean, this has not been the perfect game by either player. There's been small moments, as there always are at high-level age with all the pressure, where things could be a little better. Like economically, I'd like to see an eco upgrade or 2 added in for both. But if they're both not going to get eco upgrades, that just means Yo is in a better spot, and that's where we're at. Hey, woo.
Eco upgrade.
Okay, a little late, but there's still plenty of fish out there. So my issue is, how's he going to use that food? It's not anywhere close to Imp. He's not going to benefit from Knights. So good shots. And, wow.
Oh, and Liereyy walked under the TC that Yo was shooting with his Mangonels, so he gets the kill. Ay. Yeah, they're kind of trading equally here with the Mangonels, but Again, economy upgrades. Liereyy doesn't have horsecolor, but doesn't matter because he doesn't have farms. But
Well,
he
he's adding a
doesn't.
farm next to the TC that's going to die.
Yes,
So that's
exactly. He doesn't even have double bid axe, and that's obviously super painful. But then again, of course, as you said, Yo doesn't have any eco upgrades except double bid axe himself.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Both could do it, but they're so focused as Liereyy ducks underneath the Mangonel, gets the would-be repair villager, and tries to split away. That was pretty ballsy there. To go for the Vil first, I feel like maybe you go Mangonel hit, split, get the repair Vil if it repairs, and then go back in. But what do I know?
Mangonel spawning right on top of the Conquistadors, and Yo happy to take that trade. Yo with +1 armor, +2 armor coming in, and as soon as that +2 armor is in, Yo can suddenly justify running in and sort of engaging these crossbows, because then you take only, I think, 3 damage per hit from a crossbow. 7, 4, yeah, indeed. And now
it's worrying enough where Lierey's going to add another Siege Workshop right now, Viper.
Yeah. That's when you know you're in trouble. Let's put it like that. And again, every Mangonel pops. Sure, Liereyy gets a kill on one of Yo's Mangonels, but his own Mangonel goes down so fast. And also, they have Liereyy, maybe Ballistics could have been a good upgrade for him here, just to get those crossbows a little bit more guaranteed value.
Yo, in the driver's seat. And if he's in the driver's seat in this game, he's in the driver's seat for the final here, Viper, as we said earlier. And Liereyy just, I mean, his defense has been excellent in the games he's lost. They've all been really good games, but Yo's overall decision-making is just so insane, and it extends to all the maps. And there's such a diverse map pool in this tournament. Good micro there from both. And Liereyy still with a big ball of crossbows, and he's going to go in here.
That's so
He's so
risky.
crazy, man.
Yeah, Lierey's the only guy who... I mean, a lot of people try. Doubt tries. But it usually doesn't end like it did right now.
Yeah.
But Liereyy, probably the guy that goes for these brave moves and gets out of it without losing crossbows the most. But even Liereyy sometimes takes big hits to the face. And especially now that they're probably playing on West India server, so there is a little bit of additional delay or ping to both players. So micro crossbows is also extra hard. But right now we can see economy upgrades. Yo is adding Bosaw. He's adding bloodlines now to the conks. And there's the follow-up castle, which is the attempt to put the nail in the coffin and really amp up that pressure. As he sees the Mangonel come in as well, and he just gets out of dodge. And he's just going to run in, snipe the Mangonel, and get out of there. +2 armor, conks, doesn't even lose a single... Oh, he lost 1 conquistador. But that is, of course, a trade he is more than happy to take.
Potential here. Sorry, go ahead. There's potential for this castle to go down.
He deleted it. Okay. Oof.
And now he just places it again because the Mangonel gets sniped. Oh, man, I'm actually kind of tilted for Liereyy, but it's because Yo's playing this so perfectly right now, Viper, and you're going to ask me a question. I don't know if you were going to ask if Liereyy would resign or not, but maybe.
No, I was going to ask if you think he can pull off the Doubt Castle elite. Okay, Liereyy diving in now. This will be the end of the game. He just felt like he had to do something, and that was it. And the castle will secure another win for Yo. Liereyy felt like, okay, this castle goes up, I'm dead. So he has to try something. And yeah, like at some point you just feel like every Mangonel you make, if you're lucky, you kill 1 Mangonel of your opponent. Those Conquistadors just run in, they kill 1, and then get out of there. And this is the power of Conquistadors. It was all a centralized fight as well. And the fact that Conquistadors as well, just picture a little bit of a different game. Conquistadors had mobility, they could run around, snipe villagers all across the map. And that's their strength, but then they're also so strong in close combat. Not close combat, close engagements, like the ones we saw here, where they were pretty much fighting in the same screen for the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, I know. I don't have data on this to back it up, and again, I haven't seen every game, but for the most part, I think Spanish have the best win rate on Nomad.
Yeah.
I think going into this, I would have had them as the #1 Nomad Civ, and Malians and Persians probably at 2 and 3, maybe Persians 3, Malians 2. So this is not as if Malians are seen as weak, but if you're able to get to the conks and you're able to be somewhat competitive on water, which Yo was, he's not winning it right now, but he did harass Liereyy, and he was about to do more of it. This is what happens. Also, I think Yo is the #1 Nomad player in the world, and he showed it here with the scouting of the sheep. To know exactly where Lierey's dock was. He knew he would have the time on water to use his fish. Liereyy not really locating Yo's fish is quickly. Maybe things could have been a bit better with his archers. He could have maybe denied the castle. It's hard to say, man. But Yo up 3-1, a real task for Liereyy to try and win this now.
Yeah, I heard yesterday that Liereyy and Doubt played an insane Nomad game where I think Doubt was Malians and maybe Liereyy was Spanish. I'm not sure if Liereyy was Spanish actually, but
It was
apparently,
insane.
yeah, apparently it was. I don't know if you were you watching that?
I wasn't watching it, but I heard someone say it
Oh,
was
Doubt was
crazy, and so
Spanish.
I heard someone say it was
Ah, okay.
crazy, and so I went back and watched it. And I don't want to spoil,
No,
but it was an incredible game. So
Liereyy was Spanish apparently. Yeah, Liereyy was Spanish. So
I believe so. Yeah.
yeah. So I would have to see how Doubt dealt with that. Because apparently there was a castle on his TC while he was on the way. He hadn't even clicked up to the castle age, so that's pretty insane if
Um.
Doubt was able to win that.
Yeah, and like Liereyy didn't have TCs at one point. It was it was like there were instances where people just didn't really have economy. And the economy wasn't good for Liereyy and Yo here, but it was way worse in that game. But
Yeah.
Yo up and just looking unbeatable over the course of the series now because of how good he's played this. But we could always be wrong. Lierey's got to take it a game at a time now.
Yeah, Liereyy has to win 3 in a row. And when you look at the remaining maps and you see maps like Islands, Arena in the mix, I would not feel too comfortable because those are kind of, I would say, when there are no arena specialists, that's kind of a coin flip. And
Hmm.
Liereyy also has Burgundians. Now he knows Yo has Malay, but if Liereyy is planning to do Burgundians on arena, that's also kind of no one knows exactly the right way to play Burgundians yet. And if Liereyy wants to go for that and try to go for Flemish Revolution, for example, I'm not sure if he has ever done that upgrade before. I don't think I've ever seen him do that tech.
Okay, I have a prediction. At some point in this game, Lierey's gonna pause an imp to see how much it costs. That would be
Not
my guess, and
impossible.
if he doesn't have tooltips on, that would
Yeah.
be uh my early prediction. But also, Yo has played Malay versus Burgundians on Arena before, and it was up against
Shadow.
Tato. And I've been meaning to ask you this. I think Tato could have executed better there, but at least Yo knows how to deal with it and has proven it. So
Yep. I think Taro should have won that game with the right execution.
I think you could say the same for the Nomad game, to be honest.
Yeah, agreed.
So
Yeah, I
it's tough.
just want to point out, yes, we talked about Arena as like a bit of a, we don't know exactly what to expect, but we also have
Lands Madness.
not only Land Madness, we have Islands as well as an option, like as a game that will
Oh,
come
yeah.
up if Liereyy wins. And that's also a map where that can go anywhere. But either way, Land Madness will be the next match. It's the last home map of Liereyy. And we're going to have expected civs here in the Magyars against the Chinese. And Magyars, Yo picked it as his first pick. Yo gets to play his first civilization pick now. While
And
Liereyy-
when you have best of sevens, as you pointed out earlier, even though it might be classified as a home map for one player because they picked it, usually players are going to like some of the maps that the opponent has. And
Yeah.
Yo was able to beat everyone he played on Lands Madness, if I'm not mistaken. And he's just been tremendous with Magyars.
Yeah, Liereyy has also picked Land Madness as a home map, so this should be a map both are happy with. But I'm looking at, like, when I see a draft, this is the first civ Yo picked. Yo
Yeah.
has the first, was seed A, he gets to pick the first civ, and he went for Magyars for this map specifically. So you have to think Yo is very happy with getting to play this map. Now, Chinese, they're not a bad civilization either. I've heard they're pretty good, actually. So I'm thinking Liereyy as well feels comfortable with the situation, but at the same time, Lierey's down. He's down 3-1. He knows he has to win every game from now on, and that
Yep.
surely will add some extra pressure to him. Like, especially on a fragile map like this, if you get like one caught off guard once by some scouts on a berry bush or something, it can snowball out of control so fast. And especially when Magyars is on the other side of the map, that's even more likely to happen.
You know, something interesting about Liereyy is in his early days, he was running into some walls. One of these guys was named after a snake, some loser out there, and then there was a few other names that he would run into, and I felt like he was always executing on the level of the snake and others, but there were a few small things, and maybe if he fell behind in a series, he didn't really have that mental toughness to bring it back, and that I believe has changed from Liereyy. I think that he's doing the small things, and there have been instances. The big one that comes to mind was his best of 5 versus Hera in Red Bull Wololo, where he fell behind and had to win 3 straight and did it. So don't count Liereyy out here. I think if we would have done a community-wide poll, Liereyy would have actually been the favorite going into the set today anyways. Chinese are more flexible overall, Viper. So it really comes down to, can Liereyy kind of defend from the rushes Yo will send out? And if so, I more than believe Chinese can hold here.
Yeah, so what's interesting about Yo's opening as well has been that I've seen him play it twice, once against me and once against Tado now, and both times he opened with archer range as the Magyars.
Yep.
Everyone would expect scouts, but he just goes archer range and he transitions to the stable later. We have to see if it does the same here. I do expect Liereyy to just go for the scouts with the Chinese. That seems to be something he has done frequently as well. So we'll have to see how Liereyy responds to a potential archer range opening from Yo. Or if Yo now, knowing that Liereyy probably has seen those games, thinks that he should mix it up and suddenly go for a stable opening. We'll have to wait and see.
Okay, if you were playing, you have to pick one of these 2 civs for Land Madness. Which one do you pick? You can't say it depends or it's not that simple.
Oof, I think my vocabulary has run out at that point.
All right.
No, I think I would have gone Chinese.
Okay.
Just for the you just feel like you have an advantage with Chinese from the start. And then you don't really have to rush horse collar because you have the extra food on the farms. And yeah, like I feel like no matter what civ you're up against on this map with Chinese, you're gonna feel comfortable. But at the same time, if you were like giving me these 2 civs and were flipping a coin, I don't think I would have been sad no matter what civ I got.
Oh, Yo with a rookie mistake. He got badly housed at 20 pop because he wanted to click up at 20 pop, but he didn't have a mill yet, so he didn't have the buildings. And even, oh man, that sets him back so much right here, Viper. That sets him back an additional vill or 2.
Look at the situation right now. Liereyy is going to be up almost a minute faster, and he has a villager ahead.
Oh man,
that is brutal numbers already. And Liereyy going straight for the gold. So I'm guessing Liereyy has watched Yo's games and thinks that Yo will go archer range opening. And guess what? Yo is going for a scouts opening.
Yeah.
Mixing it up.
Kind of funny how that works. This is funny how it's flip-flopping here a little bit. I also don't like how Yo has a weak vill on the right side of his berries there. That's the first vill that Lierey's going to see. Liereyy might double back here. Okay, Yo's going to get Palisades down, but in general, just probably the worst Land Madness start I've seen from Yo. And that is just because this is very, very rare to see this much of a misplay. He pushed in so much food, he just forgot about that mill and that he needed it.
Yep. It happens. Yeah, he's going to hit Fuelage now with a very solid economy. Still gets a decent time, 10 minutes roughly, but obviously he would have liked to have been earlier. And yeah, Liereyy with the range coming up, Spearman going forward. And yeah, the fact that Liereyy is up almost a minute faster when he's going archers just means that, like normally it's the other way around. The scouts player is up almost a minute faster and then the archers come after. But in this case, the archers, there's already going to be 2 archers out when Yo has even built his stable.
And the only weakness to Chinese would probably just be the fact that their TC's idle a bit at the start because they don't start with food. But Yo actually has more TC idle time. So he's full 4 villagers behind, maybe 3.5 or something.
And he's housed again. He's going to be housed again.
Can you tell me what's happening? I can't watch this. It's bringing me too much pain.
Dropping a stable and a range, but he doesn't realize yet that he's going to be housed, by the way. He's going to make a scout now, and then like, oh shit, he's housed. And now he's going to rush the house up with the berry villagers. 3 villagers building a house. Yeah, this opening from Yo so far has been very, very sloppy. Liereyy as well. Oh, he cannot wall the gold villagers because of the stone pattern. Probably should have considered building the mining camp on the other side to have that wall being safe. Liereyy sent the villager away so he could make 1 palisade there if needed to save those 2 villagers. But the archers are in. Yo knows the archers are coming, so he's built a preemptive tower and making some skirmishes as well. So all in all, Yo should be okay here. There's no fetching on these archers either, but still, whenever you play a game like this and you just have so many hiccups in the play with being housed and all those things, you don't feel good.
Yeah. Yeah, so you're describing the average player, basically.
I'm describing
that's why
play
people.
Style.
Thank you. I set you up for that one, but that's why people here come to watch these things. They're like, you know what? I'm sick of this crap. This is too much. But it is interesting to see Yo face up against something that he understands, and not necessarily Chinese, but he went for this opening, like you said earlier. So he will know his weaknesses would be to scouts. I imagine the scouts will be coming forward at some point from Liereyy. The stats aren't looking good for Yo, but the gameplay is looking fine now, as scouts and skirms is primarily what he'd want to be fighting with here anyways, and the archers and spearmen get pushed away.
Look how Liereyy ended up walling his gold.
What?
I mean, it works. It works.
You're 3 villagers. I can also hear Liereyy. He's like, when he realizes he couldn't wall on that side, he's like, come on, this stupid map, you know?
Okay, Yo doing a good job cleaning up the 2 archers. There's only 3 spears left, and it looks like Yo might even commit with his scouts just to clean this up. Liereyy kind of AFKing those spearmen as well here. Very sloppy play by Liereyy. He's dropping a stable now behind, so he's going to have the scouts archer composition, which is, generally speaking, a strong composition. But I predict Yo here to drop not only 1 extra stable, but I expect 2 and 3 stables as the next couple of minutes progress.
Is this the correct assessment on my part to say that stable for Liereyy is very late? Because he had 400 food in the bank before he completed that.
It depends on how much his wood income has been, right? And I mean, the stable wasn't a rush, but now Yo is coming forward and still has the archers, but as long as there's no fletching on this, those scouts aren't too scared and the skirmishes can still make some impact. So yeah, potentially the stable was late, but I haven't been monitoring the wood income of Liereyy, so hard to judge.
I know we don't have the longest casting relationship, but you should really just say, yeah, you got that spot on. Make me look good sometimes.
But why would I lie to the audience?
That's true.
That's not true. Why we're here.
Yeah, we're only honest. That's true. Lots of farms here for Liereyy, and maybe a second stable for him would make sense, but it depends on the situation, and Viper hasn't been monitoring the wood eco.
Yes.
I'd like to see blacksmith upgrades on the scouts as well for Liereyy. This is what Land Madness is about. Get your upgrades, get your units out. And Lierey's got a very strong force right now.
Yeah, I'm very surprised that Yo is actually committing on fletching here. Those skirms are all... Oh, he just cancelled it. Great move by Yo. Identify that, yeah, the fletching is not going to do anything for him. So just save those resources. And that is exactly what he did. Now I'm curious what he will start investing into, for example, armor upgrade for the scouts, maybe do bloodlines. He's moving on to gold right now, and scouts come in. He's going to try and pick up 1 villager, but there are 2 spears there for Liereyy.
Ooh.
Losing 1 scout there is just Mr.Yo, and yeah, Lierey's still looking pretty good.
Yeah, especially if he goes forward with archers now, there's no real stopping that if you're Yo, because you don't have skirm, so it's just getting in position, and he's into the wood line. Oh no, Liereyy overchopped. This is why he didn't get his eco upgrades last game, because he wouldn't have overchopped his wood line without Bidaxe, and ouch, that hurts. That evens out the game.
Yeah, 2 villagers down, so they have the same villager come down, but that's, and I guess in the end, if you ask Liereyy, would you sacrifice 2 villagers to kill all the scouts of Yo that were forward? He may have even said yes, just to ease off that pressure, but yeah. Yo now dropping a second stable, and doing the armor upgrade as well, and I'm sure as soon as he has another 10 gold, Bloodlands will be queued up as well, and the thing is, Liereyy is still 1 stable, and he's relying on those archers, trying to maybe think about castle age, but Yo is relentless with his scout pressure when he gets those scout numbers going, and...
Oh, Liereyy missed the villagers. There were 5 villagers on the deer. He's going to the berries, so he's past them, and here come the scouts from Yo. This is Liereyy trying to go to castle age, but this is a risk on this map. Let's see if he can hold this, man. Looks like he can at home for now. But no damage found with his scouts as he runs through the TC. Oof.
Yeah, for now is the word as well. Bloodlines is in, the scouts are now fully upgraded, and Yo, with the double stable scouts production, he has some spearmen in the back as well now, keeping that farming area safe. And Yo is not easing up on the production, so these scouts numbers will just keep increasing. But of course, Liereyy with 3 spears, sitting on the hill with the archers as well. Unless Yo gets up to crazy numbers like 12, 13, 14 scouts, Liereyy can probably defend this, and castle age is not far away.
Yeah, we've also seen a lot of instances in the past where even if you lose 5 to, let's say, 8 villagers, as the scouts are now taking the best engagement for Yo, even if you lose villagers to an all-in, getting to castle age is massive, and Liereyy now feeling a whole lot more comfortable with that as he's on his way up.
Yeah, so Yo did the same thing as Liereyy with the mining camp. He had 5 villagers in there. Then he realized he cannot build walls on top of the ground, so he had to send some out and just has 3 villagers now on the stone mine. But that's, of course, fine as well. And Liereyy is on the way to the castle age. Yo has stopped. No, he hasn't even stopped production, so he's still making some archers now. He wants to still apply the pressure in the feudal age, but Liereyy setting himself up really nicely to defend this.
Yeah, and Liereyy also, while he is going to get crossbow, probably bodkin arrow, he's doing the right choice by making a second stable here. His food eco is looking great. He's got plenty of gold, so I think that we could just see spears and defense, archers, and knights going forward. And unless Yo kills a lot of villagers soon, and I'm talking within the next 30, 40 seconds, I really struggle to see what Yo is going to be able to do, although he has impressed me before with his defense against Tato and others on this map.
Well, 5 spearmen for Liereyy. There's 2 archers of Yo that can be annoying on the wood line here. But yeah, Liereyy always has that hill to fall back to him. But the issue for him is now he might lose a villager or 2. And if these archers commit here, Yo might make the decision to jump, especially upon seeing Liereyy hit the castle age. And there we go, Yo decides to go in, but yeah, goes back in, just buying some time for his archers.
Creative defense here from Liereyy. He's always got that choke to work with. He's not overextending the spears. And if Yo does try to jump, I even think the fight will be okay for him. As you see, Yo worried about that archer in the middle of the map. And he's going home to deal with those scouts. Good job from Liereyy as he's getting those upgrades. Now, Yo's got to make a decision, and he is on the way to Castle Age. What is the plan in defense for Yo?
I think this is okay for Yo. He's going to have to tower up more, probably evacuate the stone villages at some point, get another 2 or 3 towers up in his base to secure his income, and then upon hitting Castle Age, he will still have a lot of light cav alive. And even the 2 archers of Yo buying so much timer with 15 crossbows chasing 2 archers in the right top corner. That is fantastic efficiency for Yo, that buying so much time with those crossbows. Liereyy going straight for a second TC and just, yeah, still keeping the spears at home and making knights actually instead of camels. I was expecting camels as the opening, but yeah, it's going for knights first. And yeah, you always just have to bide his time, get to the Castle Age, and then adding a 3rd stable to go full ham on the cavalry units.
Let's see if he can distract all the spearmen. He's trying to get the spearmen off the gold, and Lierey's wise to that. So Liereyy won't allow it. And villagers saved by Liereyy, good work. And man, there's only been 2 villagers killed in this game. This is
crazy.
2 years ago, this would not be the case on Land Madness. This is, people are figuring this out. And look at these towers for Yo. They're so nicely placed. The only vulnerable spot would maybe be the backwood line and then that stone position, which Liereyy is heading to, but
yeah,
he's in this game. Yo can definitely do something with the power spike the Magyars have coming their way.
And escapes with the stone villages as well, so very likely that they will live. And the only thing is that Liereyy is going to pull quite ahead in villager count, but Yo, look at the economy. It's going to hit Castle Age with 900 food in the bank. That's going to be a lot of knights production. Probably light cav husbandry and knights right off the bat, plus 2 armor I'm expecting. And I expect Yo to try to be super active with the cavalry. Maybe even go for a forward siege, add monasteries. And yeah, this is... I fear for Lierey's crossbow numbers down there, honestly. They're very much on the other side of the map. And Yo is about to have massive amounts of cavalry with great upgrades.
I would like to see Liereyy be as patient as possible with his army, but never leave. Like, buy as much time and control the game so you can secure your base back at home. Because right now, he's got his eco exactly where he wants it. He's actually getting armor for the camels, which is the perfect unit. If he's able to dictate the pace of the game, control this, I think in a couple minutes, he's going to have 10, maybe 15 villager lead, plus making the proper counter in camels. So he's eliminating farms. He's even deleting the farms or hitting the farms with these arrows that are somehow making them burn a flame or light a flame. But Yo's got to pounce on this. And Liereyy might even be able to win the fight. Honestly, Viper, it's very close.
I feel like Yo should come ahead of this in this engagement because of all the attack upgrades as well. And Liereyy kind of not paying attention to... He gets a jump on the crossbow, now the camels are in position, and Liereyy and Yo just kind of ignoring the camels for now. Camels of Liereyy kind of bugging out, and the spearmen are coming in. Spearmen are going to be effective as well, and I think Liereyy will still be very happy with how this trade goes in the end. But Yo will clean up the crossbows, and that was his main target, so he can start farming more effectively again. And now he'll just get out of there with the rest of his units, and Liereyy can just continue making camels from here. Yo only has the option to go for full knights here, and yeah, Liereyy with his 2 TC eco looking very solid back at home. Only thing is that his gold is about to run out, so he will have to figure out where he's going to transition his gold onto now.
11 on food. Not enough to be able to sustain knight production out of 3 stables and villager production out of 2 TCs. And a knight now on these villagers. I think that's why you're reacting. That just makes matters worse. And going for deer in the first place is already not ideal here.
Yeah. And they're now on the woodline of Yo. There's only one tower to defend, and that's not enough villagers. There's 12 villagers. They cannot all hide in the tower, and Lierey's going to get a couple of kills there on top of that. Yo going for the counterattack, going to find one monk out in the middle of the map, but still you just feel like Liereyy is set up so nicely to defend this.
Yep, and this is... We brought up early feudal and how Magyars can do well there. Yo kind of tossed away his advantage on his own with that brutal transition from Dark Age to feudal.
Yeah.
And while they did a good job, now we're past early castle. Chinese have the cheaper techs, they have more options, and Liereyy has the better eco. At this level, it feels like this game should be closed out by Liereyy, and this final will continue. But Yo is Magyars. You know, you never know if you continue to play and make monks, maybe you get conversions, you get knights into woodlines, but I'm losing hope for Yo. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, Lierey's just looking so comfortable. He has the counter units. He has he has 3 times the army of Yo as well, and he's attacking Yo at the same time. He's defending with more army than Yo can attack with. There's just not a single thing in this game right now that is looking in favor of Yo.
I think he's going to also see that score is slowly changing. It will just, the gap will widen and widen and widen as there will be 3 TCs for Liereyy. That's a lot of villagers he's going to have on that gold pile, but I think he's probably going to pull some of them off. He doesn't need that many on gold, but ran out of the other one. And yeah, Lierey's responded nicely here. I think that Yo didn't do himself any favors in the early game, though.
For sure. I mean, we can always look back at the Dark Age here and be like, oh, he was housed, he didn't have a second building, that slowed down everything he wanted to do, and that just gave Liereyy like 30, 40 extra seconds to execute a strategy without any pressure. And of course, at this level, things like that translate into worse. Like it makes a big difference, things like that at this level.
Yeah. I think knowing that as well, not that I think Yo is I think Yo might have one of the strongest mindsets in the game, but I think you recognize, oh gosh, I'm even further behind Chinese now. Like that's in the back of your head. Which might not necessarily influence your decisions, but it might influence a few things here or there. But we've arrived to a point where Yo has to do some damage to feel better. And I think the only way he does it is if he avoids the main force. So I'm a little surprised that Lierey's allowing him to... He's almost inviting the pressure. Granted, he can kill those, but I'd like to see Yo maybe split up the knights. Try and hit some different areas. That's the only way I see him doing something.
Yeah, definitely has to get some raids going, right? But still, it's so difficult if you look at the numbers. Yo has 14 knights. Liereyy has 19 camels.
Crazy.
And of course, Yo has the monks now, which could help a lot in any form of engagement. But there's barracks now being dropped from Yo. So Yo is trying to make a pikeman switch as well. So pikeman knight play could be the way. But the issue is that pikeman knights don't necessarily kill someone. It rather takes effective trades in certain fights. But Yo, I feel like he needs to find a way to potentially kill Liereyy here.
Yeah. Well, if the pikemen push the camels back, the knights can do the killing, and he does have 3 on stone still. So I don't know if this is at all calculated. He does have a market. He does have a lot of gold. He could maybe win a fight and drop a castle on Lierey's face, and he's no stranger to that if you think back to game 1. So that is the way for Yo. Should you expect it if you're Liereyy? Do you know you're open to that, or do you just feel like you can adapt and be fine regardless?
I feel like in Lierey's shoes, you just feel super comfortable no matter what. You're even taking stone yourself, so even if Yo should come with a forward castle, you just abandon a certain part of your section and you just kind of just bide your time to get your own stone for a castle. You know you have a massive eco lead. Even doing some solid raids now on the bottom here is Liereyy. And massive fight now in the center.
Oh, and I feel like Yo should abandon that immediately. The monks now coming in makes this a little better, and Liereyy backs away, and I think we're going to see villagers come forward. It just has to be villagers coming forward for Yo. I don't see any way, if he doesn't get a castle up, Lierey's adding ranges for archers. This is the time. If it's crossbow and camel, you're toast here, Yo. You've got to get a castle on Lierey's face.
Population lead is 40 for Liereyy, and finishing the upgrades as well. Iron casting coming in. Bodkin is already in there for the crossbows earlier, and he already has a range from before, right? So the crossbow transition is even easier for him to pull off. And yeah, Yo's on a timer, and as you were talking about earlier, villagers coming forward, and that's going to be Yo's attempt to get back into the game. But he's still down 14 military units.
I honestly, even without the crossbows, that's so many knights and camels. I think Liereyy just takes the fight, and he wins it.
Yeah.
No problem.
Liereyy even will have the hill here, because Yo is kind of building the castle downhill. So if Liereyy comes from the left side, he will have the hill advantage as well. Liereyy kind of indecisive here. He wants to send the camels first, and then the knights as a follow-up. Trying to snipe the monks with the crossbow as well, and the numbers are just so big for Liereyy that I don't see a world where Yo gets out of this with the castle up and any army alive.
It was worth the shot, though. He was pretty far behind for a while. This was definitely what you want to try and do. You don't just want to call GG and say, okay, you beat me. There are opportunities, but it was still expected this entire time that Liereyy would clean up. And so Yo, losing this game, giving Liereyy an opportunity to fight back. And it is worth noting that that was Yo's first civilization pick. So he really wanted Magyars here, and he wasted it. So as more maps come up, and we'll finally see a home map for Yo, just something to keep in mind as he gets lower and lower in the pecking order with civs.
Yeah, definitely. It was his first pick and everything, but I'm afraid he didn't want that opening. That's not what he was wishing for.
Yep.
But it is what it is. All right, we're gonna have a 3-minute break for now, so it'll be like a couple of minutes now until the next game kicks off. So I will take a quick break as well, Tristan, and I'll talk to you in a few minutes.
Perfect.
All right, guys. Liereyy is
all right. Next game coming up here. Hello.
Mute yourself,
hi.
Please.
Oh, I thought you were gonna mute. Okay, that's cool.
Sorry, I don't mute other people. That's rude. All right. Liereyy making another point on the scoreboard. So it's a 3-2. Getting closer. It's a big match now for the next couple of games. And the thing here is, the next 2 games are Arena and Islands. Neither of these players necessarily liking those maps, but they have to play them now. And if you look at the civilizations, we're gonna have Italians against Portuguese probably on water, and I'm guessing Burgundians against Malay on Arena. Sorry. So gonna be tricky for both players. Guys, let me take these minutes to shout out the sponsors of the tournament. You have heard me talk about Surfshark and Microsoft for a while already now, but this tournament started off with you guys. So shout out to the Vipers community, as we put it, for making this even originate from something. And then Microsoft, of course, liking the idea, getting on board. Shout out to them for coming in and supporting the event. And then, of course, Surfshark, Surfshark in chat. You can also scroll down below the stream, or you will see a banner where you can click and get a link to the page where you can get an amazing deal of 83% off and 3 extra months for free. One subscription alone will allow you to install it on all your devices that you can install it on. And there's 24/7 live support. You use the virtual private network that Surfshark provides to mask your information online, stay safe on the internet, and protect your identity from every website you visit. You can even use it to unlock libraries on, for example, Netflix, or even get better prices online on different pages depending on where you are proxying to. So again, guys, check it out, !Surfshark, 83% off, 3 months for free, and I think it's nice if we could also show Surfshark that I read advertisement in chat. So show Surfshark that we really appreciate them supporting Age of Empires in this way. They allowed us to drip down a little bit of more cash money on the lower placed players and make it a little bit less top heavy, even though it is still very top heavy as tournaments generally tend to be. So shout out again to Surfshark. Awesome for them, and thank you to them for coming in and supporting the event. All right. So, game has started. Are you in there, Tristan?
Thanks for your service.
Yes, sir. I'll be in a second. No surprises with the civs, I take it.
We have islands, Portuguese, Italians. No surprise. And let's see, try to catch up here.
Yeah, I'm speeding up as well. We're not going to miss too much, I guess.
It's islands. Very exciting Dark Age. Ooh, they're actually spawning quite close to each other. So if anyone wants to make a landing happen, and if they dock on the bottom side of the map, the distance is not far. We saw Yo doing a landing yesterday on some other guy, and I think that's the Portuguese then as well. Liereyy, not the guy known to do landings himself, so I expect Liereyy to try to play more meta. But yo, you never know what to expect with him.
Yeah, and landing is such a gamble. You cannot scout on this map to determine what the others are doing, so you're pretty much using reputation, like you said.
Thank you, D. Munson.
And in
Appreciate
your
that.
case yesterday, which was unfortunate, you had an area of your map where there were more than one gold. So the two main gold piles are very important. It looks like both players have them spread out, so that's nice for defense. I just feel like if someone were to want to dock, let's say near that relic on Lierey's base, it would make sense because side docking is normally good for fish, but it would end up being quite poor for efficiency with this generation.
Yeah, I think for Liereyy, what the natural dock would be to the bottom corner or like to the left where the relic is in that direction. So we'll see if that's what he ends up going for. Yo, on the other hand, he went for a back dock yesterday. If he wants to do some sort of landing, he might do a dock in the corner or something as well. But yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see.
Are you surprised to see Yo land? Do you think he's weak on water? Do you think that's not his strong suit, or is it just a preference of his?
Not surprised, but Yo is mixing it up. He can sometimes he lands, sometimes he plays normal. You never know what to expect. So I don't think anything surprises at this point when it comes to Yo.
Is he? I mean, he's definitely top 4 in most people's eyes, but considering how long he's been around, is he one of the most complete players this game has ever seen?
I don't think you can deny that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, just like I think even in deathmatch, right? Because that's something people consider in that conversation. I believe he also is pretty good in deathmatch if he cares.
Well,
that could be the same for others too.
Yeah, like any top RM player would probably become pretty good in deathmatch quite fast if they learn the openings and such. But deathmatch, I mean, there's so many different Civ matchups where you open differently, so it's a lot to learn with deathmatch. So I do understand why RMers are more hesitant in investing time into that. But yeah, I think Yo played some deathmatch world championship thing in the past, and he did pretty well. So yeah, definitely a very complete player, no question about it.
I actually remember. This is like 2014 or 2015. I remember watching a series between you guys, and it's just so crazy. Like most of the players that are around now, you've seen over the past 5 or so years, but it's crazy how I watched that set, and it was so competitive and so fun and so strategically sound then. And then yesterday we saw such a good set between you two as well. And Liereyy, I guess, is a new kid on the block who's been around for 4 years, and that's not a long time for Age of Empires, but. To the docks, Liereyy did dock the left, and Yo has docked the back, and Liereyy, importantly enough, does not see any land on Yo's side. So he doesn't really have any suspicions that this is out of the ordinary.
Yo doing 2 fishing ships and then a transport ship, so we're gonna see a landing by Yo once again. And yesterday he went for the Scout's landing. It'll be interesting to see if it does the same again, but yeah, the thing for Yo is now the natural place for him to go and land would be to the bottom right in that direction, and that means he's going to run straight into the dock of Liereyy. And even if he lands in the left side of Lierey's base, that's so easy for Liereyy to just shut down that pressure immediately. So Lierey's map is very well suited to defend this, and Yo has to be quite lucky right now if he's going to pull this landing off, honestly, without being spotted.
I think as a counter to that, granted, I agree with everything you've said, Lierey's at least taking the gold that's close. And when you're going for the landing, if he goes to gold at all, you're trying to get as much value from a few fire galleys, and you're not going to commit to it, right?
Yeah.
So if you know the fish is there, even if Liereyy spots you, that is a bonus because you can be competitive on water, whereas normally you're just letting them fish freely.
Here it comes. Yo would have to go all along the edge of the map if he's not to be spotted. But yeah, he is in the vision of Liereyy. Now, the question would be, did Liereyy spot it? It was in his vision. It looked like he moved the fishing ship manually right there. So you have to ask yourself, if even though he was in the vision, was he in the vision?
He knew. Well, he's also blue. So even if he probably wasn't looking there, it's very hard to spot a blue ship on the minimap.
Yeah, Liereyy,
I don't think he's reacting to this, so I don't know if he knows.
Well, I mean, look at his scout movement. His scout movement implies to me that he did spot it. Now, question would be if he... Yeah, he's building a house now. Yeah, he sees it now, confirming it.
Yeah.
Barracks probably going to come up very soon for Liereyy here. Although he's still just making 2 fire galleys and not just walling up for now, which kind of is okay because he has stone and gold and wood safely in the back. So
True.
Yo, who's going for a stable, if Liereyy just walls off completely, there's not really much for him to worry about.
What I like about Yo's decision here is that just like in many times in this series and in Lierey's career, Liereyy is going for the best possible strategy with what he considers to be the best possible Civ, and he basically says, what are you going to do about it, right?
Yeah.
And Yo's strategy is the strategy that makes all planned strategies get thrown out the window. It makes you adapt. You don't know where he's going to go. You don't know what he's going to transition into. Yo could go 2 docks behind this. There's so much craziness that you just do not know. So I love to see wild players who force non-meta things against the meta players.
Yeah.
See who wins.
We have 2 fire galleys from Liereyy chasing the 1 fire galley from Dalton from Yo on the bottom side. And that's actually that works out well for Yo because it's buying him time for his fish to even fish more. Yo, however, is sending his transport ship around the island to come to the other side. So he's probably going to try and transport those scouts into the base of Liereyy. But Liereyy, well, very clever, walling. He has a very tight base, right? It's very easy for him to wall. So he's doing the right thing, making sure any landing cannot hurt him. And yeah, well, actually, Yo kind of sending his transport ship. Not where I was expecting, but okay.
Yeah, transport kind of went out in the middle of nowhere there, but he gets the tower up. Liereyy seemed to have spotted that. I think the walling was smart from him, like you mentioned. Also, though, it does seem like Yo could maybe defend. I think pulling a repair villager next to his dock is really important right now. Probably too far away to do that, so advantage Liereyy.
Liereyy is open still, and the transport is coming around. There's a he went out to wall. If Yo lands right now, he could get in, but it doesn't look like it'll be in time. Liereyy getting in, making the house, making the palisade, and he is completely fine.
Yeah. And now, correct me if I'm wrong, I think Liereyy should add a few fishing ships, right?
Yeah, would make sense. He's queuing up 1 at the moment. He might also want to try and get rid of that fire from the transport ship of Yo that is still around. But yeah, Lierey's looking very healthy. The only issue for him is the berries that are potentially exposed. But yeah, Yo just adding a second dock. He did build an archery range earlier, but deleted it and rather made a tower. I'm a little bit surprised that he didn't add the archery range, because having a few archers here will deny the berries completely from Liereyy. So I'm surprised that was not his choice.
Well, that's what worked so well against you. You went into spear defense, and then the archers were there immediately, right? So as the spearmen come out here, the scouts are kind of trapped over here now. So good job from Liereyy to get the walls down the way he did. And he could even extend the walls further. Wow, this is really smart. Yeah, Yo's going to need his transport over here to get these units anywhere close to escaping.
Yeah, Liereyy with a really solid response so far. Now, the main concern I would have in Lierey's shoes is that, by the way, the spearmen now picking off the spears, the scouts. Yo kind of has to engage. Wait, is it open? He was open the whole time.
Oh!
He was open the whole time.
That's a tilter, man. That is a tilter. Well, it could still end up working out as he...
Oh, nice gate.
Oh gosh, how is this a thing? Just freaking Age of Empires, man. But yeah, okay, Viper, finish your thoughts. It seems like at least the scouts will not do too much damage.
Yeah. So Yo's decision now is just to get some water on the field, try to at least force Liereyy to make more fish, maybe even kill the fish of Liereyy. But the only thing I would be worried about if I was Liereyy is the fact that Yo still has villagers on my island out there.
Yeah.
And that's something that you probably want to get rid of as soon as possible. And Liereyy is making an archery range, getting some archers on the field, and Yo has nothing on the island anymore.
Yeah.
And he's going for a mining camp on the stone, so you would imagine that Liereyy will just be going there and picking off those villagers ASAP.
Yeah, I mean, Yo should see that range and not make that mining camp. Yeah. That seems weird to me. But he is also extremely confident player in weird situations. So who are we to judge as the water micro ensues? And looks like Yo is winning. And those fishing ships were not added. Those were fishing ships that were at the original dock. So props to Yo at least for saving those and getting what little value he can out of these situations.
Yeah, Liereyy though has queued up Castlage now, so he will be advancing. And he's going to have a solid minute advantage at least on Yo here. And with the talents you can afford...
fish.
You can afford so many things, such as War Galley right away. Yo even doing an archery range on his own island now because he's expecting Liereyy to land in. But yeah, as you pointed out, Yo is killing the fish of Liereyy now. And suddenly then the transition to Castlage, maybe Yo will have a better economy than Liereyy has.
I wonder, I think there's one villager remaining now. So there's the stable there, which Liereyy could consider walling in. And then there's the villager for Yo to make Liereyy think twice about things. But yeah, fishing ships down hurts. And good micro here from Liereyy with the demo. Yeah, very good micro, actually.
Yo, not getting any value from that demo. So many low HP fire guys for Yo. He's sending them all to repair, but he's on the way to cast stage as well now. So he is a minute exactly pretty much behind. And yeah, it's gonna translate into an even cast stage game. Surprisingly so.
I don't know how Yo does it. Like, he didn't add the range, yet he still has a villager here. He didn't lose all of his fishing ships. The uptime's not that bad. If you remember that Italians have a cheaper cost to go up to the next age, it's quite impressive. And he also will have skirms if any archers would be transported over, though I don't think Liereyy is. Well, as I say that, he's going to send a scout and 4 archers in the south over. Depending on where they go, Liereyy will actually be out of luck in terms of doing damage there.
Yeah, the scout doesn't have much HP, and Yo has skirmishers on the field now, and being a blacksmith as well, so fletching will probably follow shortly as well. So yeah, feels like Yo is gonna be fine on his own island, and Yo has decent presence on the water even. And also more HP, these Portuguese. Those fire galleys have more HP, and they cost less gold. So in the end, this seems to translate into a very, very even mid-game here, where as the game goes on, you kind of even prefer Portuguese, unless Italians can really take advantage of that early Imperial Age and Castle Age timing.
By the way, Liereyy doesn't know there's a dock over there, so I think he's getting confused. He must assume at this point.
Yeah.
But all these healthy fires keep coming in, and he has not actually scouted that.
Oh, Yo can still win this fight. He has more HP on those fire guys. He has more numbers, and those are low HP fire guys from Liereyy. Liereyy really shouldn't be taking this fight.
Upgrade coming in now for Yo, and the demo with a good hit Viper, and I think Liereyy might be distracted as he adds his town center, and a knight's about to pop out of the stable right next to the town center. You know Yo's gonna have fun with that.
And siege workshop from Yo as well. Liereyy does land now. He has crossbows, but that's crossbows without without Balkan arrow. Yo has 6 skirms on his map with fletching, so you'd imagine Yo should be fine here in the end as Liereyy moving in with the scopes, and he's not paying attention. He's walking straight into the skirms.
I think he was focusing on the knights or any number of things, and while the TC will go up, Yo is just a pest. He's so good with these landings. He will maybe get a villager. No, he doesn't get a villager there. But the siege could follow up, and big moment with the demo, and the demo actually does not land Viper for Yo right in the center there. So
the Magna
while it
could
will
even
still
help.
be close, it could have been better.
The Magna is even going to help against the fire ships, and they're so stacked up as well, and that's massive damage output that Magnas provide. And Liereyy now with only crossbows in defense without even Balkan arrow. How does he defend Knights Manganos like this? And even Yo even has better water units in theory.
Yeah. Eco is pretty even, I'd say. And the thing is, 1 or 2 demos changes things for both players. With the way that Yo is up against the shoreline, we could see a massive demo for him.
The villager could go down as well. Demo against demo. That was a good trade for Yo in the end.
As his own demo comes out here, Viper. But good spread on the fires there from Liereyy, as he's still got to worry about his TC.
They group up though. Ooh. Decent hit for Yo.
Also, Yo will probably switch this into a land boom. He tends to have a pretty good balance there. Are you surprised that we don't see a monastery for either player? I kind of feel like a monastery for Yo would make sense, so the enemy can't go for knights.
Yeah, Liereyy going for the forward sea workshop, I guess, on this town center. And Yo is just going to move up and be like, okay, I'll kill those villagers. And that siege workshop is going to be delayed. Was there a big demo?
There was a massive demo, and that's exactly what Liereyy needed. Oh, man, Yo's going to lose every chip there.
But that part of the game doesn't really matter at the moment. Oh, big demo from Yo.
Follow it up from Yo. Yeah, you're right. It's transitioning to land right now, isn't it?
Yeah, that part does not matter much. There's a monastery from Yo coming in as well now. He has some knights on the map. Liereyy making knights himself to try and deal with this. But once there's a monk out, this is just such an awkward situation for Liereyy to defend. And Yo now adding town centers behind this. And Yo's economy is even looking like he could think about Imperial Age. He probably won't, but he could think about it.
Are you sure that's not PTSD?
Yeah, maybe.
I'm pretty sure there's a small part of you that's PTSD. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how he pulled that off yesterday. And oh, big shot there from Liereyy, and I think he needs another one.
Liereyy will get. Oh.
He'll get it in the end.
Yeah, Yo will pick up the Magnum as well, but yeah, Monk has to be careful not to release the Monk, and Liereyy with the favorable army on the land right now, so Yo has to be careful with that Monk. It should spawn inside the monastery, and it does, and yeah, Liereyy kind of securing his base a little bit, and you know what? That's one way to deal with the knights. As the demo pops out and kills that, and yeah, Yo is probably now thinking more about the boom at home, while still trying to make something small happen on the land of Liereyy.
There's a boom at home for Yo, but there's been a few booms at Lierey's base as well.
Yes.
There's so little.
Another boom.
Oh.
Could be a 2-for-1 boom. Belize is a fire ship to try and bait the hit.
That's funny. I also wonder how long that villager is going to be there. That is the designated house villager, and he might make other things. But it's so crazy to me that these knights are coming from the right side of Lierey's base, and he hasn't walled in that stable. Like, this should not happen, Liereyy.
Yeah, and Liereyy now doing bot canal as well. Just he has 7 crossbows, makes a lot of sense to get bot canal. Just to use. Oh, this could be a Dow TC. Oh, okay, he falls back. Whew, he sees the Magnum coming in. Nice target fire there from Yo. Yo would love to get these monks involved as well, and he sends them out, but that's right. But to be fair, he loses 1 monk, kills all the knights of Yo, and Liereyy has to micro his heart out again.
And finally, he goes to take out that stable, which I think he will finally complete. But now, Yoshi's going to make another one. So.
Oh, it's going to be a conversion as well for Yo, unless Liereyy deletes the knight, which he does. Village account still very close. Neither player really fishing that much. Liereyy has a few fishing ships. Yo has 2 himself. That went back to start fishing at his original dock. Quite funny that.
Hey. I think Yo will take a 1-for-1 here if he can get it. But that's a lot of knights to sacrifice.
Using so many knights, and he might not even get it in the end. He should.
No way.
TC is helping out so much with the fire here as well. And yeah, I feel like that was not worth it for Yo in the end, losing all those knights. If anything, he should have maybe tried to get those knights to +2/+2 to have a stronger situation going for him. But Liereyy is playing so much with fire, man. This is the decider game as well. One Mangonel shot could finish him, and he's just dancing there in between Mangonels like this.
It kind of reminds me of the Nomad game, only this game is a little closer positionally.
He's just going in, like, I don't care. Try to hit me. Try to hit me, bro.
This is not how the game was designed at all. This
what
should
Doubt
not
says.
be a thing. Yeah, that's what Doubt says, of course. That's what normal
I click Mangonel, I shoot,
I
I hit. That's how it's supposed to work.
Well, TC for Liereyy, which he's desperately needed.
Yeah.
He's running pretty low on his golds. And Yo has enough stone for a castle soon.
I don't think this villager should go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but Yo has three TCs at home. His food eco is still lacking quite a bit. Liereyy has a big advantage on the food income. Yo is just mainly focused on like disturbing Liereyy at this point. I think now he has to really get his own economy sorted and get those farms up and start thinking about getting to the Imperial Age. Now he has still like 11 vills on stone, so maybe he's thinking about getting another transport and sending.
He queued one.
Yeah, so he might want to send over more villagers and drop the castle somewhere. But at this point, I feel like Yo is in a situation where does he need to drop like 4 castle and take that risk? I don't think so. He's using the market a little bit here. I'm not sure what he exactly tried to buy there. Maybe just get his boom going still.
Maybe build a castle on the center island, because it's not like you're going to drop a castle on an area that Liereyy needs, right? Oh, well done there from Liereyy.
And not a single conversion as well. Perfect for Liereyy there.
Okay, so we think Yo is going to build a castle, but he did sell some of his stone to buy food so he can get his villagers working.
He actually bought wood, so I think it was more for farms potentially even. Okay. He's making a second dock now in the left corner. Yeah, this will just transition to Imperial Age from here, and Liereyy should be faster, and I think the middle island might not be the best idea, simply because a change that was introduced in Age of Empires not too long ago was that once you get chemistry, you can start producing cannon galleons right away. You don't need to research it anymore by itself. Yep. So if you have a castle in the center and Liereyy has a way faster Imperial Age, suddenly that castle goes down quite fast to the cannon galleons. Yo is going for the castle in front of Lierey's docks. And decent spot, but it's also vulnerable.
Yeah, castle spots on shorelines make sense because you want to be able to have a free area to dock, but also if the enemy makes their own castle and are an Imperial Age faster, in this situation, they can just treb you down. You don't even need cannon galleons. So I really question that castle position. I think that what I would do, and I'm no islands expert, is I'd probably place it where his transport is. More towards the middle and further away from things. But maybe he has a plan. Maybe he doesn't know, and of course he doesn't know, that Lierey's going to be an imp faster than him. I think he should assume it, but impossible to say.
Yeah. Liereyy has all the resources to click up. I'm not sure what he's waiting for. Maybe he thinks he needs 1,000 food. I mean, at this point, you don't really rule that out, right?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, he just queued villagers again.
Does he not have a building? Yeah. Okay, there you go.
Oh, yeah, he never made a monastery. Yeah, true. That's actually such an important thing right now. Because if he already had clicked up, that's a massive advantage now. Yo will have some time to catch up on the Imperial Age time, and Yo has a better economy as we speak.
There was one villager in a transport. I don't know if you caught it. That was actually... Yeah, one villager in a transport ship. I thought it was something bigger than I missed it, but not a big deal for Liereyy to lose.
Look at Lierey's resources.
Liereyy had up.
He only built the university with one villager. It took forever to get the building. And look at the Yo's resources now. Yo is gonna click up and just be like very close himself. So yeah, it's just 15-20 seconds difference all of a sudden. Where Liereyy was ready to click up to Imperial Age for a minute already.
All right, Viper.
Yes.
Feitoria, how good is it?
Oh, wait. Do they have the time limit on?
They should have it on.
I don't see it anywhere.
Well, it might. Does it not show in Capture Age?
Maybe let me just check in the actual game. Oh yeah, they have the time limit on. It's all good. I see it.
But that would be 1 hour and 45 minutes for those that don't see it within Capture Age. If the game goes to 1 hour and 45 minutes, which is funny, that's the first thing you thought of when I said Feitoria.
Honestly.
I'm just curious on your thoughts on when to make them, how many you make, because my opinion, and we saw a lot of them in Hidden Cup, the Feitoria is a good building, but it doesn't bring in resources fast enough to justify many of them right away. Taking up that space is a big loss.
Yeah, I think like I don't remember specific games, but I definitely remember seeing Feitoria being built, and I'm like, that's way too soon. You can't afford wasting that population at that point. And so it's more of a thing you do once the resources get a little bit lower, where you're like, I already have so many resources in the bank, or like, there's not too many woodlands left to chop. My gold is running low, my stone is running low. Let's just get rid of some vills and like add Feitoria, and then you play the long game like that. But obviously, with the time limit we have right now, Feitoria might still be a part of the game, but it's not going to be a thing where you can just sit back and wait with Feitoria until you win the game.
Yep. And my opinion throughout, all the instances of islands and caravels and all that stuff we saw in recent tournaments was that cannon galleons were underrated by players. They weren't researching it fast enough. And since then, the devs have made it so after chemistry, you can just make cannon galleons. You don't need to create, research the cannon galleon upgrade. So I actually think that makes Portuguese a little worse here.
Yep.
But it does still exist, and big loop around for Liereyy into the back of the water area for Yo.
Might be able to pick up some villagers here on the woodland if he sticks around. But yeah, you can see shipwright as well prioritized from there right away. That's an incredible upgrade. And not only does it make the galleys cheaper, or all the ships cheaper, it also increases their production speed. So when you're fighting in the choke points that they are likely to fight in, it's very nice to have that. You know what? Liereyy only has, 3 docks?
What?
5 docks? He hasn't added any docks upon hitting Imperial Age either. To be fair, Yo doesn't have many docks either, but...
He's got 3 forward and 3 on the back that he could lose. So I think as Liereyy transports the crossbows over, Yo, Lierey's looking like he's in a real good spot, having shipwright, having the numbers already, and now can camp Yo's eco, and Yo will probably need siege at home right now.
I think what he needs to do is rather produce a couple of skirms and get the upgrades for them. Because siege is also not guaranteed to clean this up, while skirmishers eventually will clean it up. Yo landing in the middle, making a castle there as well, so he's getting center control. And You really don't want to play late game against Portuguese because they have so much HP on those ships. They have, what is it? It's 17 more HP on the galleons. And they have the access to the caravels. It's just, it's not pleasant to play against Portuguese on water in late game.
Yeah, and there are times where players can drag on games, but they'll still lose because they got outplayed or the opponent had a better position. This is the map where, and this is the Civ matchup with Portuguese, where if you're able to survive, your situation gets better and better and better. It's a bit like a game where someone has 5 relics on Arena, I guess. You can only hit so many spots on the map, and it's eventually going to get worse for you if you're in Lierey's position. So it's funny we mentioned Arena. If Liereyy brings this up or gets this win here, our final game will be on Arena, which is crazy to me.
And we have Burgundians
going to steal that relic. Oh, gosh, man.
So Yo's choosing to deal with this by making organ guns, and they don't do that well when they come one by one. And so Yo is sent the organ guns, now he's doing a watchtower in defense. I just think it would have been so simple for him to just build a couple of skirms, do the elite skirm upgrade, and it would have been fine. But I really like the center control Yo was taking with the castles and everything. And Liereyy is pretty much in a position now where he has to make cannon galleons, and he is doing so. So
it's a good move for him.
Yeah, for sure. Very close game, though. It's impossible to call who is going to win this game or who has the lead right now.
It just depends on how long it takes Yo to pop up right now, because Liereyy has 44 galleons with 6 in queue. Yo has 26, 29 with 2 in queue. I kind of question, as Yo places his first Feitoria and needs houses because it's taking up pop space, I question if Yo can get all of his mass into this area. I almost called you Dave, sorry. TheViper. He's got some in the south. He's got some near the middle island. He only has 3 docks in the middle. Or sorry, 5 I can't see. He's got to pick up the pace here, but he did take a relic from Lierey's side, so that's going to help too.
Yo just also built a Feitoria, which I think is too soon. Look at his resources. I feel like he has way too few docks as well. He needs to drop another 10 docks. Really, he has 5 docks on the front set, and that's really not enough. So
you got the unique tech at least.
Yeah, but like he has so many resources. Why is he not adding docks, adding production buildings? And
maybe just focused on what he's got right now. And here comes Liereyy with the cannon galleons. Viper. Liereyy could take out that castle.
Yeah, 3 trebuchets as well. That castle is gone for sure. And yeah, you're always going to lose that position. He has to fall back to the other castle, and even that castle is reachable by the trebuchets. So in the end, Liereyy is making a really solid push right now, and Yo doesn't have the numbers to defend.
I think we're also seeing the benefit of shipwright.
Yeah.
I feel like shipwright being, what is it? Whatever the discount is now. It's been changed on Italian so many times.
3%, I think, right?
Yeah. Like, shipwright is so tough for any other Civ to afford. The fact that Italians can research that just makes all the difference. And I still think Italians are the #1 water Civ despite the Feitorias existing for Portuguese because of this. And maybe we could question these castle spots for Yo. Maybe they were good, but he didn't have the numbers. But it's looking like he can come back from this. 60 galleons for Liereyy with 10 in queue. And 20, he has more in queue now, Yo, than he has on the map. He's going to have to produce quickly.
That's the issue. He was lacking those production buildings for so long. And I mean, at least the castles buys him a lot of time to get numbers up again. And again, he does have better ships once they're fighting. He has more HP, he has more armor. So, but yeah, Liereyy just has the numbers right now. But Yo might be able to hold it out. That castle will for sure go down. And then Liereyy is suddenly on top of the production of Yo. And Yo already is suffering so much with the lack of production buildings that Liereyy looks like he's just snowballing this out of control. And Yo, even though he has a healthy population here, he's going to have to fall back and just try to regain pop again.
Yeah, and I like how Liereyy is going for the jugular here. Not that he has to be too cute with the micro, but it is a little awkward in these situations. I like to see him just continue to head in. If he feels like he's got the queue, he's sitting next to the docks, which Yo is making more units out of. Just sit between those docks, maybe even transport the trebs to the middle, and do what you can to make it so Yo can never recover here. There's finite gold for both players. Or sorry, no, just for Liereyy. And he's got to continue to pressure before it becomes a Portuguese situation.
Yeah, but fighting here is kind of okay for Yo. Again, he doesn't have the numbers yet, but the dogs will sometimes tank a little bit. And the units are popping straight into the fight. And he has the armor, he has the HP. So Liereyy not taking the best engagement right now, but then again, he's just counting on those numbers, winning him the fight here. And so far, it looks like that might be enough for him, as Yo he's reinforcing. Liereyy just dropping a castle immediately on the spot, and that's also covering 5-6 docks of Yo. And yeah, Yo
There's
just has
no
to
way
back
for
down.
Yo. Yep. If you back down here, you lose all your docks, and production has been the issue for him. That's not going to help matters. And I mean, he's going to lose Lumberjacks here. He'll probably lose Fatorias to Trebs. I think we're going to a game 7 here. I do not see a way back for Yo.
Looks a lot like it. Yo is struggling. Keep in mind, he also has a Fatoria, which is 20 population, so that doesn't really count towards his numbers either. And yeah, Yo would have to like redock on the top left now and make another 10, 12 docks to have any chance of holding here. And yeah, what Liereyy did so good here now is that he just pushed and he gave Yo no time to recover. If Yo got another 2 minutes to just produce, he would be maxed out and suddenly there's an even game. But Liereyy not giving any time to breathe.
Yeah, and this is after what we considered a misplay for Liereyy, just being late to imp, right?
Yeah.
So Shipwright making the difference. His overall defense was awkward, but it was so nice to see against Yo's push. And Yo was probably expecting Liereyy to not be able to do this because of how crazy that push was. As we see another castle for Liereyy. Lierey's just got to make sure all of his units are fighting here. It's looking a little better for Yo because of the docks, like you said, but Yo's still losing so many of those docks.
Yeah. Yo is redocking now as well, which he has to. Liereyy did a good job redocking to the front as well. He has 9 docks now. Keep in mind, Liereyy still has Shipwright, which is just... the production speed alone is just so massive. All your units produce 33% faster from the docks. And I'm not even sure the Portuguese even have Shipwright.
I thought all civs did, but I never see any other civ get it because... Oh, no, you're right. Not all civs get it. That's a dumb statement. But my gripe with it, Viper, is that I only see Italians get Shipwright.
Yeah. Well, it's
I don't know if
expensive.
it should be that way.
It is
so
super
pricey.
expensive.
Yeah. And it's made the difference here. And Yo just continues to back away, and we're just watching him slowly. Well, there's definitely that belief that Fatorias can win this game for him. So he's going to hold on, but he's running out of wood. And having to redock this many times really hurts that.
Left side is completely out of wood. And where can Yo take wood right now? It's pretty much next to the docks of Liereyy. And yeah, Liereyy as well, running out of wood. He only has a little bit left. Maybe the timer of like 145 is even too long. Because we wanted the phase to we wanted to not enter a phase where Fatoria can win the game.
Yeah.
And the wood is about to be gone. Yo now buying the stone for another castle to try and survive with those docks. He needs a few more houses as well because the Fatoria has now taken up all the population. 42 ships for Yo, 81 for Liereyy. And Liereyy landing 4 trebs, and those Fatoria are about to disappear.
Yeah, and they're not the cheapest building ever. It takes a long time for it to pay off. And a little sloppy there for Liereyy.
Yo has a bomber cannon out. He took out 1 treb already.
Ooh.
He will probably lose the 1 Fatoria, but this is definitely one way to deal with it.
He won't lose it because they have as much HP. Oh, never mind.
Sorry, what was that?
Sorry. Yeah, I was talking about the other one. That's
right.
Yeah, I got to be accurate. But they do have a lot of HP. So I don't know if there's been a recent change to that. It doesn't look like they have based on my memory, but it's tough to kill those things.
The fact that Liereyy is allowing Yo to take the wood in the bottom could cost him a lot here. Yo is able to get healthy numbers out on the water. He's still naturally very far behind in the numbers, but he is Portuguese, and if he can take some effective trades here, suddenly Liereyy might not be able to reproduce as much as he would have liked. And
oh gosh. I'm watching these Trebs right now, and this bomber cannon coming out. Lierey's got to be so tilted. Oh gosh. He's not going to take out that Fatoria. It's going to... Well...
Liereyy coming in with the bomber cannon. And that bomber cannon... deletes the lumber camp as Yo, and he might get out of there just in time. But Liereyy is chasing it down. And it survives. Wow.
Well, I still think Yo needs to pull back. I still don't think he's taking good fights. He needs to use that choke, and it...
Yo has a population lead!
But no, it's false population lead.
it's Well, Liereyy just going in under the castle as well. That seems extremely ballsy by him.
Oh.
Yo is taking a decent fight here. Look at the military numbers. Yo is catching up.
Viper, this is so funny to me because the second I saw the hour 45 rule, I was like, if there's a time limit, does it not promote more camping? Like you can hold on and hope you have Fatorias, which give you score lead. Because Fatorias, as we saw in Red Bull Wololo, do actually boost your score considerably. And since they bring in resources, you're eventually going to be getting more res and more score and more score and more score. And I think Yo, if he continues to do this, can actually hold or maybe win the game. But Bombard Cannon goes down finally, and Lierey's gotta be frustrated.
Lierey's about to run out of wood as well.
No way.
And Yo, he's still allowing Yo to chop. Like, if Liereyy just control the bottom wood, there is no chance. Look at, he's taking wood on the shoreline next to Lierey's ships.
Everywhere. He's very tunnel vision.
Yeah, if Liereyy control those woodlands, there's no chance in the world that Yo would have a chance of winning this game. But Liereyy, kind of, yeah, tunnel vision is the right word. But that's a good fight for Liereyy so far. Yo has to fall back. Now there are 3 elite cannon galleons working now on the docks and on the castle soon. And even reaching the Fetoria now. So Liereyy still has a good chance. But look at the wood income from Liereyy. He's stuck. He has 160 wood and 69 wood. And I think we missed heavily with the timing. I was talking about maybe 1 hour 30 minutes for the wood to run out. But then I don't remember how the conversation went. But I think there was talk that that would be too short, and there still would be wood on the map at that point.
Yeah, I think that this version also has a little less wood than previous tournaments, which maybe is what made the timing a little awkward. But I don't know if Yo should. I mean, granted, he's gonna have wood income, but I don't know if he needs to overextend right now as he brings the Bombard Cannon in to go for the Cannon Galleon. What on earth?
He actually picked off 1 Bombard Cannon as well, and Yo suddenly with Yo has look at Yo's wood.
He's deleting Vils now, so he has pop space again.
But look at his wood and the gold. Look how the gold is going up.
Yo just won the finals.
And he has 4 relics.
Yo just won the finals, didn't he, Viper?
Is there any chance Liereyy can hold on for 43 minutes with a score lead?
Well, okay, I tell you what. He needs to get sappers and send those villagers in as military. I think he's going to chop wood, and he's going to realize there's not much there. But yes, to answer your question, there is a chance for Liereyy that he can hold on for score lead, but I feel like it will get progressively worse for him.
Look at Yo's bank. Oh my god, I can't believe he won this game.
Well,
but,
I think...
look at Liereyy now landing to try and take the wood from Yo's island. There's nothing left.
No longer there, yeah.
But, okay, so we can say that Yo has done a really good job at holding on, but Lierey's tunnel vision here has definitely cost him. He could control that wood from Yo all game long.
Yep,
he did not.
You're right. Here he comes with a castle, and he's making stables. He does have food, and he's researching Hussar. So Yo might not have villagers. He doesn't have any fortifications on his base except for the where the dock is. Yeah, so he would probably lose Fatorias to Hussars soon, and he'd lose his relics. So Liereyy could maybe steal the relics. I mean, I really don't know how to call this game, and I understand that this is, in many ways, just stupid and unique. But at the same time, how frequently do you see games like this? I still think it could go either way.
Yeah, the issue is that Yo has resources, right? He can just drop a couple of barracks, start making pikemen, which he is doing.
Yep.
And it's not the end of the world for him. Yo now has Elite Cannon Galleon himself. Lierey's villagers are officially collecting 0 resources except the ones that are on the farms in his base. And yeah, Liereyy is... I hate to say it, but looks like Yo eventually, with the timer here, will be able to close the game out. Liereyy cannot engage anymore. That's the awkward part for him. Although he's trying to snipe a cannon galleon. Oh, those cannon galleons go so slow. Okay, he missed in the end.
Oh, man. Yeah, the thing is, Viper, like, I have also maintained that players just are too tunnel visioned or they're not doing the right things to close out games against Portuguese. But I think, while I think there needs to be a mental shift from many of the players who encounter this, I also think if it happens enough times where Portuguese are winning out, there might be a reason for it. And no way, it says Lierey's winning this in terms of HP. There's a lot of weak ones in there for Yo. But now it's evening out a little. This could be straight 50-50, actually.
Lierey's doing some nice micro though. Oh yeah, Lierey's HP is still 1,000 more, so this could easily be a win for Liereyy in the fight, and that means he's pushing his score lead even higher, and now Liereyy chooses to fall back. Obviously, it's hard to judge these fights, but Liereyy probably looks at his bank as well, and he thinks he's up against Victoria, and...
Yeah.
Yeah. Still, do we think Liereyy can hold on for 40 minutes without losing the score lead when there's Victoria? I don't think so. Unfortunately,
the one's going to be built.
I think we're looking at a situation where Victoria once again will win an Islands game. And while Yo did all the right things to win like this, you still feel a bit bad for Liereyy, but at the same time, Liereyy definitely should have controlled the wood on the bottom side. He could have landed earlier, he could have done a lot of things to make sure he wins this game, but he was not able to do so. And of course, it's still not over. There's still a 2,000 score lead for Liereyy here. That could still be decisive. They're now doing armor even for the archers. Not sure if that's just for score.
Yeah.
So Liereyy is playing the score game against
Portuguese.
Victoria.
But he only has to wait another 30-some minutes. I know it's ridiculous, but both players could play to win here with some very awkward decisions. And that's a significant score lead there for Liereyy.
Yeah, the issue for him is that Liereyy cannot reproduce water units. Yo can.
Sure.
And Yo will constantly keep pushing. Look at Lierey's bank though. He has 1,000 stone almost still. But yeah, Liereyy has to, like... Yo can start destroying things, forcing engagements and fights from Yo or from Liereyy. And eventually that will win Yo a lot of score as well. But yeah, for the time being, the score is not catching up too much for Yo here.
Yeah.
So... And now...
The problem with... I'm sorry, continue your thought.
Yeah, Yo has burned through his wood bank as well. Now, of course, he's still getting wood from the Victoria, but...
It's not fast.
It's not looking that high as I would expect it to be.
Players are just so good at dragging games out now.
Dude,
That's the difference. It's crazy.
Liereyy is increasing the score lead. It's 3,000 now. It was 2.5 not too long ago. Like, Yo is diving...
Can he do this? Can he afford this? He thinks it's worth it because he can make more, but that is an expensive loss, and he didn't even get the final one.
Oh, but he's
Viper.
taking a...
No way!
Nice dodges by Liereyy, but Liereyy lost a lot of ships on the front at the same time. So in the end, I think Yo still came out of that with a decent trade. Still 3,000. Yeah, he has to catch up 3,000 score within the next 35 minutes of in-game time.
Liereyy cannot delete his vills. Vills would, if you delete your vills because they're not working, it would lose you so much score.
Well, he has no reason.
That's the tie break.
Yeah, he has no reason to delete them anyway, even if they're not working, right? So.
Sure. Well, sometimes, you know, you...
Liereyy sending his fishing ship on the right side to collect fish on the top side, so... He has some food income still, and that's gonna last a long time, you know, so...
Oh, gosh, man. This should not be. Yo has 60 pop on the field, and Liereyy has 44 pop that matters, I guess you could say.
Where does
Yo
has...
villagers matter for score, but...
Oh, Yo is chopping trees in the middle of his base. He still has a couple of trees. I was seeing like he has 3 wood choppers.
Stonks, man. That's a lot of income compared to Liereyy.
But yeah, Liereyy now, the castle is gonna go down, and 2,500 score. Yeah, the thing is, if Yo just adds 2 or 3 more, yeah, he's adding more cannon gallons. He has 5 out on the map, and it's gonna be 6. And Liereyy can never engage this army. Yo is just gonna build up that score slow and steady, and I don't see it, man. I don't see how it's gonna be a thing. But yeah, we definitely missed with the timer here. The timer should have been probably something like 1 hour 15 if you wanted to completely avoid Victoria wins. But at least we know that now for the future. But obviously, it still sucks.
Yeah. Well, it's part of the game. There's no shame in doing it if you're Yo.
And Liereyy,
and
like,
Liereyy
again,
should recognize it.
Yeah, and Liereyy could have controlled that 1,000. Like, Yo collected thousands and thousands of wood in the bottom part of the island, where Liereyy pretty much had his ships pass nonstop.
Yep.
So yeah, Liereyy still could have done a lot. Now Liereyy has 25 hussar on the island of Yo, and Yo is doing halberdier now, doing the last armor upgrade, but Yo kind of doesn't have population to produce halbs right now. Although he has some in the town center, so he should still be able to clean that up. But yeah, score is now just 1,000 apart, and I think it's dawning on Liereyy as well that the score is just gonna keep dipping in favor of Yo here, and it's only at 1,200 apart now. Yeah, I'm afraid that's all she wrote, folks.
2 straight tournament final, or not 2 straight, I suppose, but 3 straight big tournaments where Portuguese have pulled out some Feitoria shenanigans.
Yeah.
Granted, I think when Vinchester tried it against Liereyy, actually, Liereyy probably hates Portuguese so much, but yeah, the GG's called. Liereyy even resigns with the score lead. This Civ is just, it's unique to say the least. Liereyy had his opportunities in this game and in this series, but Yo is the Open Classic champion. That was such an entertaining series. Kind of an awkward way to end it, Viper, but Yo deserves it.
Absolutely. I'm gonna write quickly to Yo to see if he's down for an interview. I assume you would
Sure.
stick around as well.
Yep, that's fine.
You're more experienced interview than me, so maybe you can take care of some of the questions. I'll think of some more specific ones. You asked the generic ones since you are a generic caster. So, yeah, Yo closing it out with the 5 Feitoria in the end. Again, this is not how I wanted to see the Open Classic finish. So it is a little bit sore taste in the end. But yeah, all massacres Yo. Like, he played those other games fantastic. Even this game, all the action that happened with the landings and everything was fantastic display from both players. And again, I still feel like Liereyy should have won this game if he just identified that he could control so much of Yo's wood in the bottom part. So
yeah, I agree with you on that. It's just
yeah.
he didn't, and Yo capitalized. And thank you for the compliment, by the way. I've always felt far from generic, and it means a lot. But let me know what Yo says if we have to hop out of our voice room, which I think Yo should have access to. We can just do a quick Discord call.
I will. I've written to him. I'm not sure if he has answered yet. He hasn't answered yet. Oh, I just like Jordan in the game earlier against Liereyy. Apparently, Jordan lost a minute, at least 1 minute in the restore. He didn't realize. Like, you know,
really?
First game Jordan against Liereyy, apparently there was over a minute that Jordan didn't play. So when they restored from Lierey's file,
he was way behind.
Yeah, he was way behind. So Jordan was probably quite tilted from that, understandably so.
Wait, you're telling me this game's been out for 2 years and we still don't have a proper restore?
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you.
Okay.
I think we're gonna have to have an admin decision here and go and replay Jordan against Liereyy again.
You should tell Yo that right now, that you have to they have to redo everything.
Yeah, I think Yo is probably busy celebrating right now, so we're gonna have to wait and see a little bit. But hopefully we can get him over for an interview. Let's look at the stats here quickly. Look at the economy tab. That's the most important one. And in the end, Yo collecting 13,000 more resources than Liereyy, and that's not down to villager collection. I'll tell you that much.
Just, I guess, after watching that whole final, as we wait for Yo to finish his celebrations, what did you think of the quality, right? Because these were settings that, I mean, many of the maps have been a staple of tournaments for years, but at the same time, there were some tweaks here or there when it comes to overall map balance and no ban system, just a straight up pick system.
Yep.
What was your experience as a player and also organizer and caster? Wow.
So yeah, like for me, what I felt has been missing lately in tournaments has been just straight up like settings, not any gimmicky maps like too far out in terms of gimmick, and a draft system where you can actually play what you draft.
Yeah.
We always have these days. We have you ban civs, you snipe civs, and then you see, of course, everyone drafts the best civs, but they never get to play the best civs. So the main thing there was to allow people to pick whatever they want. They can prepare, they can play what they get, and plan around their civs, and not necessarily have to be like suddenly like, oh, he sniped that civ. Well, okay, I guess I have to play something else, you know. So yeah, and also I think the maps, Krishina did a great job at the maps as well, making them fair and competitive, and we saw some great sets as well. I think in the round of 8 or round of 16, I think there was so many 3-2 sets as well. So the tournament has definitely delivered on a lot of games, and yeah, of course, again, I hate the way this tournament ended now, because so many people are going to be complaining about the Feitoria and all that stuff, and feel like Liereyy was stolen that game and whatnot. But again, Liereyy could and should have won that game no matter what. So even though we all hate the way Feitoria plays out, it was still error of judgment on Lierey's end, and Yo just did what he should do, and he deservedly won. But yeah, I'm very happy with the tournament. I think it was great in the end. Obviously as well, Hera not making it in was a bit awkward, but we all want to see Hera in the tournaments, right? So it is what it is. In the end, I'm very happy, and it was exhausting though, because when I'm also organizing the event, I feel like I have to deliver and stream everything, and I definitely can tell that I'm exhausted. So I have
Yeah,
to,
this was a long day of casting.
yeah,
Your stamina is not there for casting anyways, right?
yeah. And then it's also playcast the other days. It's exhausting, but yeah, who knows? Maybe I'll do something like this again in the future. Maybe not. I'll have to feel on it, and of course, see how my wrist and hand holds up.
Well,
But yeah.
two things.
Mhm.
First off, from my perspective, it was a great time, and I think viewers. I can't speak for all viewers, but I think viewers would say the same.
Mhm.
I also agree that simplicity was something that was maybe needed. Drafting is awesome, but I think drafting can sometimes not suit certain maps and certain tournaments, and it can
Yeah.
just be what people started to do because this tournament had it or that tournament had it. And so I thought it was refreshing. And of course, as a host myself, and maybe some others will reconsider how many bands, how many snipes are incorporated, and maybe reconsider. Well, ask the devs to make a change to Vatorias.
Yeah.
um, the
Uh,
the funny thing about you saying that, by the way, about like how exhausting this is why I think Yo winning is so fascinating to me. He actually does this
yeah.
for most of his events, right? He actually
Mhm.
watches them, casts them, and plays all the time. So his performance was stellar, man.
Yeah.
Considering that.
For sure. I mean, he did this during Red Bull events as well, so it's like the guy has a stamina of a Chinese guy. Let's put it like that. But yeah, on the drafting situation, I love drafting, but I think we're also limiting drafting too much as well now. Like generally speaking. But then again, I'm fan of variation, right? So some tournaments can have snipes, some tournaments have bans, some can have snipe
Yep,
and
yep.
bans, and then some can have no bans and snipes at all. So yeah, that's kind of what I like. I wanted to see a tournament again where we had no bans and all that stuff. And yeah, Yo has just answered, so let's get him into the call here. I'll make a group call on Discord.
Sure. Okay.
Hello,
Hello, ni hao.
你好.
Okay, yo, hi. I'm not the host of this tournament, but Viper's too much of a
Hi,
wuss to ask you
19.
actual questions. So, first off,
Wait.
congratulations.
Oh yeah, damn it, T90. I was gonna say, congrats, Yo. Clap, clap, clap. Okay,
Thank
now
you.
go ahead, T90.
Sorry, my co-host is very irresponsible with his duties, yo. Yo, how do you feel, man? Tournament champion, massive prize pool. It's been a crazy year, obviously, but what are your thoughts right now?
I feel great, like really great. I'm so happy that I win this tournament with a good prize pool and good players. Well, except Hera, of course, but still, I feel really happy, really happy.
Yeah, the names of players you beat, obviously I'm repeating this mainly for viewers, but you didn't really have an easy road, right? You beat
No.
Lan, you beat
Mhm.
Max, you beat TheViper, you beat Tato, and you beat Liereyy. So, yeah, unfortunate that Hera didn't make it into this tournament for sign-up reasons, but this was a hard road. So, do you think that means even more to you? Just the fact that you showed everyone what you're capable of.
Yeah, of course, because everyone is saying I'm lucky to get good bracket every time. So
I
this
have
time I get a tough one.
I have never heard a single person say that. Is that
Everyone, I
Chinese
mean,
Chinese
Togao
audience?
and Nikov and someone
Oh,
else. I don't
those
know.
guys. Okay, well they're just bantering, you
Yeah,
know.
that's guy. That's my everyone.
Yeah,
And
that's just
yeah,
banter.
yeah. I think the bracket this time is hard, but I think it proves something more. I
Mhm.
suppose.
Cool.
That's awesome.
Should we work our ways through the map? Ask some questions specifically to the maps, or?
You're in charge. Don't ask me or him.
So yeah,
Just
we had
do
Arabia
it.
first. First of all, were you happy with your draft in the end? Did you feel like you had a better draft?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So we
I
entered.
thought so, but it turns out it wasn't that bad, that good.
Okay. So we entered Arabia first. You went for Britons there. Were you expecting him to
Yeah.
go Mayans? Were you thinking he would go Aztecs? What was the thought process behind Britons?
I thought he was going to go for Chinese.
Ah, okay.
I wanted to use Viking, but Viking is like weaker version of Chinese, so
Mhm.
I figured I would just use Britain to try my luck. Then I saw his Mayans. Mayans is kind of weaker than Chinese,
Mhm.
so I was happy.
Okay. And you definitely like your forward castles. That game clearly shows.
Right.
What was the second game again? I think it was maybe Atacama.
Yep, second game was Atacama. Yo, I mean, I was impressed. Viper was impressed with your scout activity there. Is that just a normal day in the books for you? You killed his scout and you checked every single pond, confirmed every single one. Do you feel like you played God tier in that game, or was that just like a normal win for you?
Would it be too cocky if I say it was normal?
No, I mean,
I played a show match versus Jordan the other day,
uh-huh.
and I was the Thonian in the game too. So I basically do the same things, like when I was Jordan. So I don't think there is something special about the game.
Can I ask on that? Because Liereyy played Japanese against Doubt yesterday as well. Did you watch the
Mhm.
games and see how he played?
I think I did.
So your strategy, was it
Probably I did.
anything? Did you use that strategy the way you did? Like you did a late barracks, you just went for the docks. Did you do that because you saw how he played and kind of try to counter it?
No. I have
Okay.
bad memory. I don't remember any details from their games.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was all that long ago yesterday, right? So it makes sense. We entered game 3, which was the game where Liereyy won. Was it Land Madness?
Gold Rush.
Gold Rush. Yeah, Gold Rush. You went Vikings there. I assume you expected Aztecs from him, and you picked Viking as a
Yes.
counter. But you opened with Stable, and then you kind of went into a longsword play. Was that adaptation because you saw him going Eagles, or did you already plan to play like this as the game began?
Yeah, I wanted to make him think then going to full Huang, full Huang
Huang?
style. Because of the stable, then I would just sneaky making swordsman, but it failed. Of course, it failed.
Why do you think he would think you go Huang just because he sees a stable?
That's what Huang do. No?
Yeah, but a lot of people build a stable.
It's Vikings though.
Yeah, but
it's Vikings.
I kind of get it. I kind of
okay,
get it.
okay.
Everyone would expect the archer range instead
Okay,
of a stable.
fair enough, fair enough. After that, we enter what probably is your favorite map, I assume, Nomad.
Yes, I like Nomad.
We can tell you're freaking Spanish, walling half the map at minute 8 and then straight to conks. You seem to have a very specific style there, where you don't even rush the castle, you focus on water first. I assume that's very deliberate on your end.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Good.
Lands
Tristan.
Madness. Yo, this is where I come off as the bad guy a little bit, but you just won the tournament. So, Land Madness. Were you upset with yourself because of that Dark Age? Were you just like, whatever? It seemed pretty rough. You forgot the mill, you got housed. It is a little awkward.
I was really pissed off at myself, but I don't think it matters that much because Liereyy has a perfect map and is Chinese. I don't think if I can go up 1 minute earlier can change anything.
Okay, fair. So yeah, I guess Viper had said that he thinks Chinese might even be a little stronger there. Would you agree? Because you did pick Magyar first.
Agreed. That's why I said I thought my drafting is perfect, but then it turns out Magyar is no better than Chinese.
I have a follow-up question there as well, because we saw you against both, like against me, you played Archer opening with Magyars. You did the same against Tato. And then you just switched to Scouts in the end against Liereyy. Was that because of Civ? Was there any playstyle? Was it mind games? What was your thoughts behind that?
I forget why I did go Archers versus you. I don't remember why, but there was a moment when I find out something, then I just decided to go archers.
Mhm.
But scout is always the plan, the first plan.
Okay. So you're just adapting on the spot based on what you see in the civs and such. Okay, cool. What was the game after that? That was another win for Liereyy, I think.
Well, the
Oh, that was the
game
Land
after
Map.
Lands
Oh,
Madness
yeah.
was Islands. It's all
Yeah.
right. It's all right. He's new. Okay, yo. So with this tournament, Viper and his team said, you know what we don't want? We don't want to have Portuguese dominate because of the late game. And you got crazy with the landing. At what point did it click for you? Oh God, I can actually win because of this building, the Fatoria. Did you think about it early? Did you think you were still dead that game? Or did you always believe in the Fatoria?
Well, I thought I was going to win before Imperial Age because it was kind of successful landing. I killed all his fish and managed to get a workshop and a stable, but then I threw it all away, and I just didn't want to give up. So I don't remember which point. I just realized maybe I can win this game.
I mean, when Liereyy resigned, he had still higher score, but obviously that was going to change quite soon. We were looking at the map, and like the left side of your island was suddenly out of wood, and you had to move everything down to take the wood right next to pretty much where Liereyy was making galleons. Do you think he would have had a chance of winning if he denied you from taking that wood?
Yes, of course. I was out of everything. And if he went landing earlier, I think I'm dead as well.
Yeah. Do you think? So you think if he denied the wood, you would have no chance with the Fatoria?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
Yeah. Well, either way, the Fatoria was the play. You did a good job holding on to make sure the Fatoria could grant you the win. And honestly, you played the best this tournament. So congrats a lot to you, Mr.Yo, for winning.
Thanks.
And
Thank you.
You're banned for the next tournament.
Why?
Because you beat me. I don't like that.
Sorry about it.
Oh, that's so... Oh, sorry about that, by the way. Yeah, but okay. I'll take it. Congrats, Mr.Yo.
Well, you beat me a lot before.
That's true as well. We give and we take.
Can I real quick before we let Yo go celebrate? Can I just bring up one of my favorite stories between you two? It was NAC, NAC 3. So it's a LAN event, and Viper was feeling pretty under the weather. He was feeling pretty sick, and it was scheduled that Yo and Viper would start off the next day. Yo and I are hanging out. Viper arrives right before the games are about to start, and Yo goes, "Hey Viper, how are you doing? How are you feeling?"
I remember this.
And Viper goes, "Oh, I'm feeling much better." And Yo immediately goes, "Shit." Oh God, I love it. Well, Yo, again, congrats, man. From me and you. There are certain moments in the way you play that just gets me so excited, and it's not like because of kills or anything. It's just because of the brilliance of the way you read the game, your Civ Draft. So it was absolutely brilliant. For one final question, what time is it for you right now?
Prime time.
6:40.
6:40 a.m. Okay, is this normal for you? Do you adapt your full schedule to win Age of Empires events, or is it a little past your bedtime?
Well, it's still kind of late for me, but I'm fine.
Dude,
I'm still fine.
Apparently.
When I stayed at Yo and Paladin's place for like 2 weeks, I woke up 6, 7 a.m. Yo was still grinding League of Legends. A couple of hours later, he goes to bed, like around 10, 11 a.m. maybe. Every day. Rinse, repeat.
Well, but I don't play well around this hour.
That's fair.
I get tired.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, anyways, congrats. I wanted to ask that because that's pretty insane. But as far as I knew, you're no stranger to playing at these times because of the tournaments and all. So, Yo, it was fun to watch. Appreciate it, man.
Thanks for taking part, Yo, and we'll see you around.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, Tristan. It was a lot of fun having you along for the ride. And yeah, thanks for casting with me.
Yeah,
Guys,
Thanks for showing me the
can I
ropes. It
tell
was
you guys? Do you guys know when T90 asked me to cast the final with him? It's not
I
like
did that professionally. I
it's
had
not-
to get off for the day.
It's not like he came to me like after I lost yesterday. No. T90 asked me many days ago. He's like, by the way, do you want to cast the final together? Like, tournament hasn't even started. I'm playing.
We got a plan, man. It's a man with a plan. I actually read the conversation off. I said, hello, slithery snake master pizza man. I come to you and request to cast with you, and you responded, hello, 3 range neutral islander. We can do that, but I hope we don't. So that was the combo for those that missed it. I'm sorry if that was too much. I was excited, man.
It's not nice, by the way, to leak private messages to the public, just for the future.
Okay. Sorry, I'm new.
Yeah, all good. All right, Tristan, it was a lot of fun.
But yeah,
we will for sure
it was
cast.
fun, and thanks for putting up with me, and congrats on a good event, man. It was awesome.
Yeah, thank you, man. I will see you around. Bye-bye.
See ya.
All right, that was Tristan, guys. T90 official, Twitch TV/T90 official. I think it's T90 official everywhere, YouTube as well and whatnot. So do check him out. Yeah, we have reached the end of the event. Awesome to have Yo on voice as well. Obviously, Yo. I've known Yo for many years now. A great guy as well. We have a lot of fun. Lawler the Legend gifted 50 subs to the channel. Thank you so much, Lawler the Legend. You are a legend indeed. G Chaos, thanks for the 5 months. Tsunami stream with 100 bits. Halberdier Henry with the sub. Welcome to the channel. Guys, I am leaving tomorrow for a vacation for 4 to 5 days. So I will not be back until Friday or Saturday, I think. And yeah, I will see. So just to elaborate a bit on my plans, 4 to 5 days. So let's say 5 days, okay? Relax. To elaborate a bit on my plans, I don't know exactly what is going on with my hand and everything. It hasn't felt great over the weekend, and I don't really know what to do. Again, if I say like, hey, I'm gonna take two months off.
Good to earn respect for playing despite wrist issues. GGWP.
Kara, man, sharing with 1,000 bits. Thank you so much, and thanks for that. Yeah, dude, still hate the fact that you didn't get in. Wake up earlier, man. It was only 7 a.m. No, but I understand it's obviously hard to find the check-in and everything. It's confusing sometimes, but that sucked. When they told me that you didn't make the check-in, I asked them if they can keep a spot for you for a little bit longer, just in case. Unfortunately, that would delay the whole tournament, so I tried, Hera. That's all I can say. But either way, yeah, guys. My worry about taking a longer, prolonged time off is that I come back after like a month break, and then it's like, well, it didn't help. It still feels shit. That's my concern. So I'm gonna go on the vacation now, get away from the keyboard a little bit and the mouse, take 5 days, and then I'm gonna arrange an appointment again with the doctor ASAP, see again what he suggests now, and then
Much love for this community.
And then after that, I'll make a decision on how to approach this. So the issue though is that I hate to take time off, you know. I would love to keep playing Age of Empires with everyone, right? But yeah, we're gonna see what happens, and I don't really know exactly what my plan is. It will be clear in like a week or so what I'm gonna do, maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks or so. Yeah, guys, the tournament is over. I'll be gone for like 5 days. Yeah, I don't know. I'm satisfied with how it went. I think the tournament was great. A lot of great games as well. So many close sets. Really enjoyed it in the end. It was exhausting though. I can tell, being the organizer, host and everything, I felt that I had to stream everything and deliver, you know. It is exhausting. It is exhausting. So for me to remain competitive, I'm not sure if I could do something like this in the exact same way I did it right now, with streaming and covering everything. It's rough. Yeah, guys, thanks for all the kind words. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Let's find some of the hosts before we head off. Pass on and spread the love. And I'll see if I can arrange so some YouTube videos will come up while I'm gone. But I cannot promise that. I will see. Maybe I can get some help from my editor to do that. We'll have to see. Because I obviously will not have too much time. But yeah. I might post some stuff on Instagram over the next couple of days from our hiking. So if you guys are interested in seeing what it looks like, Instagram is the place. Thanks for a long weekend, guys. Hope you enjoyed the show. I'll see you guys when I see you guys, probably in like a week or so. Have Have a lovely rest of your days, rest of your week, whatever comes next for you. Stay classy, be kind to each other. And I'll pass you on to Miguel now, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the tournament. And good night.